point again, but you know, I think for TODAK, it is going to be a very good idea for them to actually let go of the Navaria. There's going to be the Ling and the Lancelot band, though, so already respect and already kind of a curveball. Yeah, Wise not going to be on these assassins. TODAK love the chaos, right? They really find success in that chaos, and up against a Navaria who really doesn't like messy team fights, I think that might be the main win condition for them.
I'm looking at TODAK and I'm thinking of one thing.
What?
The Fanny hasn't been banned. I'm not so, because again, the Fanny, as we saw, is a very risky pick. Either you're gonna look amazing or you're gonna get 1v1 by a Badang, right? So it's gonna be very, very interesting. Now the Valentina has been banned out, which does, in my mind, say that TODAK, they want to pick up something big. And Blacklist, if they want to deny Moon of that Eve, I kind of feel like it is a good spot to pick it up right now, but TODAK could quickly pick up the Claw to fight against the Eve. So honestly, a lot on the line here.
Potentially. I'm trying to sniff out what TODAK is trying to do, but no, after many, many years of trying to predict their draft, I would like to just see it happen rather than making some hard predictions. I'm looking at Blacklist, and I agree with you that the Eve is looking very, very fine here, but Navaria, I just feel, is a little bit better, a little bit more flexible.
Thing is also, for the Navaria, right, if you're up against a Fanny, you really struggle, but there is still an outplay mechanic within her build. If you go for the Astral Recall, you can go through walls, and you can actually escape from the cables in the game. So that's an outplay mechanic that certainly they can utilize here. And the fact is, right now, you said it, it's very flexible. Why it's always first picked is the fact that it can go to the roaming position, and it does super well as a roamer, a supportive roamer.
That's not all. With the Navaria, at least they're going to get the information, something that Blacklist truly utilizes. Fun fact that Chico is 100% with the Irithel, the Leslie, the Brody, and the Layla during MPL-MY Season 11.
Kind of feel like it's almost unnecessary to put the Layla there, but you know what? It's all right. Now the Arlet as well as the Akai has been picked up. Both are great. Both are amazing, and both
are
cannot.
flex.
Yeah, both are flex. That's what I wanted to end it on. Why'd you have to cut me off, man?
I mean, I gotta cut you off, man.
Dude, I was building it up.
You know why? Because we're flexible on the desk as well.
Boys, let's take it a step back here. At the end of the day, we don't know where these two are going to go, and for all we know, Blacklist International might surprise us, right? The Fanny is still up in the air, and if Blacklist wanted, I don't know, maybe to take a page out of TODAK's book, I'm thinking, you know, Fanny and as well as possibly even a Mincetar, but no. Fredrin, as well as Diggy, they're aware that TODAK is up to some shenanigans.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Good pick by Blacklist to kind of like deny the crowd control coming in. But TODAK, here's the thing. Have a big burst hero. Have someone that can burst the Diggy early on. Make the Diggy unusable. Because again, looking at the lineup, the Fredrin is going to be super annoying. Wise especially is going to be super annoying. Now they're picking up the Eve because I kind of feel like they know it's totally going to be banned. And I kind of feel like Moon just feels very, very comfortable on this Eve. So far it's okay. Looking at the bans, I'm really interested to see Blacklist. What are they going to ban to make sure their squishy heroes are not going to get targeted? Because Navaria, even though, yes, Astral Recall, go inside the wall, basically a very long iframe, no one can hit you. But the thing is, the moment someone hits you, it's gonna hurt. Has one of the lower HP pools out of all the mages.
They're doubling down, though, for TODAK, right? For the CC. They want to overwhelm the Diggy with CC. And I kind of understand what Blacklist are going for. Like you mentioned as well, with the Navaria, you already have that Astral Recall to give him more safety, or to give her more safety. Use the Diggy here with the Time Journey. Thing is, like you said, not just CC. I mean, it's not just damage here. CC. You overwhelm this Diggy, you try to bait just this ultimate, and it's done. What do Blacklist have to play after that? Even for the Navaria, early game to mid game, super long cooldowns on her skills.
Agreed with you on that one, right? It's about engage, re-engage, the push and pull mechanics of the overall team fight. We need to keep looking at the bigger picture here, because at the end of the day, that's how Blacklist and TODAK think, right? This is the one aspect of both teams that are alike.
Right now, I kind of like the Franco ban because they're really respecting TODAK and say that Franco is one of those heroes that can handle the Diggy, and they're like, yeah, you know what? This Akai could go gold lane, this Arlet could go jungle, we don't care, so we're going to respect and make sure that this Franco is not a safe option. The Hayabusa might be okay going up against this lineup, but again, I don't know. If Rival can really avoid the Fredrin at all times, it's going to be okay. Because again, Astral Recall, you go inside the walls, but if you already initiated your Ogi Shadow Kill, it's just going to follow you.
Yep, that's true. That is one way to actually deal with it, to be fair. Looking at TODAK's bans so far, it's going to be the Wan and as well as the Claude. I'm really surprised that both of these weren't picked up. This is not exactly the most traditional starters based on what we've seen in the overall MSC tournament meta.
Maybe Toda wants Beatrix?
Yeah, it does seem like they're already setting up for the Beatrix here, right? 1-1 Claude banned out. The only other hero that I've seen out on good catch is that Beatrix. So by banning out these two heroes and picking it up, they're forcing Owl to play a hero that he's not comfortable with, and even just a hero that will struggle very much up against TODAK's composition. Brody, up against this much CC, you're not even going to be able to get those basic attacks out. But wow, BLACKLIST International with a pretty unique ban here. The Mathilda, I think this is the first time ever in MSC that it's even been banned out.
Yep, yeah, it is the first time ever. What's the logic here, LaFell? I'm trying to think.
Mathilda?
I mean, like, we cast Toda games and even we don't see that Mathilda.
Exactly, right? I understand that it was about that push and pull, engage and re-engage, and I guess that Mathilda kind of fits the build, I suppose, but that's making a hard read on some of the flex picks that we see from Toda.
Okay, so probably they know something that we don't, because again, we're from Malaysia, we watch their games, but between MPL and MSC, a lot could go on, but in a ton. Here's the thing. Chiku has quoted before during his live stream, one of the heroes that he wanted to bring out, not just for MSC, but in general, was the Natan, because when he's on this hero, for him, it's almost like the Claude, because when he's on his hero, his only aim is to mess with the enemy. He wants to make it look like he's going to get caught, but he's not going to get caught.
So it's the opposite. They don't want to take the Beatrix away. They want to force Owl on the Beatrix to give a good matchup for the Natan. But that's the only thing I'm worried about. Unfortunately, I've never met a Natan in my games as a Beatrix, so I don't know how this matchup goes. Maybe it's the same for Owl.
Time to drop the beat.
I suppose. I mean, okay, Beatrix into the Joy. So that means this was all pre-planned. This is what they wanted to do, because if not, we probably wouldn't have seen that Claude ban in the second phase. Since they are already on the second pick, they could have locked it in for themselves if they wanted a safer laner.
Right now, honestly, they could as well pick up something like a Lolita and just put rival with this Akai. At least they can deal with the Beatrix. Because, yeah, right now, Ashi is talking to Yum, so they're probably talking about his hero. Another one, I guess, would be crazy is just to add more CC, like you said, Miracle, just to overwhelm this Diggy.
I would say just put the Arlet as a roamer and go for something like a Yuzong here. Get some more physical damage threat to jump into that back line. But up against the Joy, it is going to be quite concerning, and they're just going to go for the Hilda. Hey, against Ziggy, you need burst. What does Hilda bring to the table?
Here's the thing, they are going for an echo kind of idea, because the way you stop BLACKLIST, you disrupt their jungle, you disrupt their EXP. If Edward doesn't get to play, if Wise doesn't get to play, I would say 60% of their strength has been cut short.
Yep. Let's look at the audience predictions so far, with the large majority leaning towards BLACKLIST International side. Completely understandable. Wait, who's the 14% leaning for TODAK from the Philippines? What's going on there? It's LaFell. It's just LaFell.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Minority wins.
Look. I'm not pointing fingers anywhere, but this is going to be a very important game for first seed in their groups to make sure that they have a better chance at making it into top 4 during the knockout rounds. All they got to do, win this first game, knock out another team in the second, and then you're good to go.
My question is where the Hilda is going to go. Because Roamer, sure, but maybe up against the Joy, it is a pretty good matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Dawn for game number 1. It's time to set the tempo as BLACKLIST International and TODAK enter the stage. It's Yums.
Yep, right now it is Yums on the Hilda. It looks like the Hilda is going for the jungle invade for now. Yums is just standing by. He's just giving vision. He's like, guys, I'm here and no one is here. UA as well as Oh My Venus. Yums gets spotted out. Now what's he gonna do?
Yep, they sniffed him out already, and at this point, like, what do you really realistically look for, right? Oh My Venus is going to be taking the emblems of the Impure Rage. He can farm it off of Yums for a while as long as he doesn't die.
And right now, it looks like Yums is trying to be a little bit annoying, and he's taking quite a bit of damage. Moon is there as well, forcing Wise to use his Retribution, but for now, it looks like nothing really is going on. It's going as expected, but no one is taking heavy trades.
And for Momo as well, the Unbending Will is the choice of the talent for him, so he wants to go for some more damage.
Okay. Okay.
That should have been a free Little Wonder.
Yeah, with
Bit
the
of
red
a
trigger.
whiff, yeah, a bit of a whiff. I totally agree with that one. But no, as Miracle was mentioning, we do see... Oh, wait, no, hold on. This could be the first engagement.
Okay, Young's getting brought back right there, forced to flicker out, dodges away from the Astral Sphere as Wise just walks up menacingly, but it's just going to be a flicker burnt.
All right. Looks like both sides still taking it as slow as possible, and more so, seeing TODAK play a rather standard game. First whiff of the game already happened. Shake it off. They're going to continue on forward, but how big of a deal is Momo going to be, especially on this Arlet here?
I think it's going to be a very big deal, especially doing neutral objectives, because you need someone to bait out the Digi ult, man, because when the time journey has not been used, it's going to be very difficult for Rival to fully secure those neutral objectives, because the thing about a Nakai is you want to take that just to make sure you win those retry battles. But if the Digi is there, it's not a 70% win for the Nakai.
Thing is, Digi's not level 4 right now, so Heavy Spin's going to be able to lock Wise down. They're going to go for the team fight, not for the turtle right now, but it's giving the retribution from Wise, who secures it. A beautiful Astro Sphere from behind, taking Rival down as Momo now is going to be caught, now with the rhythm as well. Edward is pushing him away, but look at Yums all alone. Blacklist International want to chase him down. Another Astral Sphere locks onto Yums. There's going to be some alarm bombs placed, the reverse time again, the taunt and the chain CC. And it's all Blacklist in the first 2 minutes.
Instantly, we see first blood, we see a second kill follow shortly afterwards. A little unfortunate, but coming back to the EXP point, right? I actually disagree. I think in this particular case that Edward on this Joy is going to make Chico's life rather difficult. He is taking the vengeance as well, and yes, even though he's not as hard as people would like to believe, doesn't have that fourth dash as we've all been hoping for, that's totally fine. With the Vengeance alone, and especially since Chico guys can only swap places once, that gives a lot of room for him to work with.
Look at this, Chico guys already completed his first item, and Moon looks like he is fully aware that someone is waiting in the Triba. So for now, let's count it. 4 members of Blacklist International is here. Chico guys as well as Moon. They are ready, but who's smelling like a fight here? Because Blacklist International, it feels like they want it, but at the same time, they don't want to take a big risk.
They're getting pinched though, right? If they stay here for even longer, then you can give TODAK a little bit of a chance to go for that fight. So Blacklist International, they don't stay there. It's just Venus and Yue holding it down. Chico gets chunked so low! He gets gunned down by the Miru's Passion as well! As Moon is there, he pops into RWM, but the time journey is perfect! The Astral Sphere from Yue, from downtown! Wise is gonna fall, but it's only the utility jungler. Blacklist with another win.
What just happened there? He just ate it.
Yeah!
No, I mean, like I said, this is TODAK, you know. Chico's gonna lose. Chico's gonna die once or twice in the gold lane, and then afterwards, for some reason, he has extra gold. So for now, Blacklist, they're doing quite well. But again, this is kind of like textbook TODAK. I kind of feel like they did not want that to happen. But still, it's just one of those things, man. History keeps repeating itself.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right, Chico guys is going with the mystery shop, so he does get an overall discount. Despite dying, being behind isn't the worst in the world.
Okay, final splash as well right now, but Rival, he's going to be able to secure that for his team. Now equal in neutral objectives, but Blacklist International are still holding on to that 1,000 gold lead as they put pressure down in the gold lane. Yue going to be chunked. Yums brought back by the reverse time. Once again, Owl cutting him down, going back to the Renner. Good shot, Spear. Owl, one more snipe. Doesn't want to go for the apathy here. Does he want to go for it? I think he does, but it's a bit too late.
Right? Yeah, he's going to check it right now. Chico has to block it, and yes, he takes a full chunk out of it. That's going to be sad because now, walking back into lane can be a little dangerous with Oh My Venus just stacking up with these auto alarm bombs time and time again, but Moon is here to support.
RWM placed down right now for the side of TODAK. Chico's going to eat it again! Ow! He's come alive in this series so early on. Yums already brought back again. That's a lot of damage. The Razor's Breath. Yue! On point! So accurate!
What is going on? They are just eating spells. They are just taking punishment. Good job on Blacklist International for fully capitalizing on it at the end of the day. But you can even tell that for Ao, he's just like, whoa, we got so much out of that. I thought we were only getting one, but getting multiple, even better for us now with a 2.2k lead.
Yeah, Owl just completed his own Blade of Despair, and now up top, Edward's looking for Chico guys. Chico guys for now is still alive. Wise looks like he's going to be okay as well. No, maybe not.
He might be okay right now because you can see Edward already rotating over. Venus as well has come through. Time journey still safe. A Razor's Breath! And the Bennett's Rage! Blacklist are styling, are stomping on TODAK. Another Astral Spirit connects. Venus is just standing in the mid right there, popping a time journey, baiting Momo out. And TODAK, what are they doing? They're just responding to the plays from Blacklist.
Right now, Blacklist is just outclassing TODAK at this right. There's so many mistakes coming out of TODAK, completely punished. And even for Wise, holding on to the Appraiser's Wrath until the very last second was good enough.
Dude, I gotta say...
No way! Oh, goodness gracious. Blacklist are cracked. They are cracked. The rookies are here.
UA, he's not here to be like, I'm happy to be around. No, I'm here for the win.
Oh no, Chiku guys targeted again. So far it's gonna be okay. Dude, we have not seen a lot of Natans, but I gotta say he does not have a lot of HP.
No, he does not. He's just getting chunked out by UA. He's getting chunked out by Oh My Venus. And for some reason, Owl has been hitting every single one of these Bennett's Rage. And Chiku continues to receive the punishment.
Dude, it feels bad, man, because again, here's the thing. Maybe you could deal a lot of damage, but it kind of doesn't matter if he did not get to touch anyone. He did not get able to do anything, and then he completely dies. And right now, Blacklist, they are here controlling the jungle. Rival is there. Edward is there as well.
Final Slash brings Wise back, but look at Edward again in the back. That's a purple buff stolen away. Yum's now knocked up. That's another Astral Spear to cancel it out. The Appraiser's Wrath even from Wise just to zone it away and clear out the minion waves coming down as Owl just takes the turret down with the Bennett. Edward is just zoning them away, and look how they're playing so much for the mid. Oh, Final Slash, you went. All good.
Yep, it's all good. You got the time journey. You can get out at any tight spot that you ever wanted to see. Now, it's interesting to see that Blacklist, as much as they like to play a very disciplined game, they are actually increasing the tempo, and they're increasing it significantly fast. It's already 7 minutes, 50 seconds into the game, 5.1k lead, and they're looking for somebody.
Owl with a brilliant flicker out. Wise with the peel as well. He might actually be able to go for the solo kill here onto Yums. He needs to be careful. Wise is just walking them down as Chiku guys pops the entropy down below, gets chunked by the Renner's Apathy, has to jump back now. Wise, oh my goodness, Edward in the back, just wreaking havoc, acting as a janitor, cleaning it up. US survives as Owl picks up a double, 11-1, Blacklist International.
It's not even close. It's not even remotely close right now. Even Blacklist International, look at the way that the waves are actually pushing, right? Because they put 5 people down on the bottom side. It's understandable that TODAK want to play defensive, but Blacklist have made sure they've done their homework and also the housekeeping as well. We're continuously pushing waves from the mid lane all the way to the slow push on the top side.
Chiku used absolutely everything that he can to run away. But look at that damage coming in from UA, man. Here's the thing. We talked about the Beatrix during the draft. Taking away from Blacklist. If they took it away, maybe it wouldn't be like this, man. But, you know,
what's scary
hindsight.
What's scary is they predicted the Beatrix. That's what they wanted to go up against. So the fact that the Beatrix is smashing them like this, it definitely hurts right now as Owl is already holding on to that Renner's Apathy. He should be able to shoot it down. Oh, if that connected, Munu's dead. Wise jumping in under the turret. Blacklist International trying to siege this down, but they won't be able to do so right now.
Oh man, it's not good at all. This is perfect for Blacklist, right? Especially with the Navarre, it really complements their style. They get to check multiple bushes, they get free information pretty much all the time, and especially with the Diggy as well, with the auto alarm bombs, they essentially have visions in places where they technically shouldn't be, not having to recheck it and waste that time. So Blacklist are just making crisper calls all throughout this match.
For now, Joy is a 0% win rate here in MSC, and it looks like Edward wants to change that to 0-2.
Did you say 0% win rate?
Yeah, for now.
Agent 0.
Dude, like, something different here. Because here's the thing, right? Chiku guys, if he could deal the damage, perhaps, right? Perhaps something could happen, but there's so many people from Blacklist ignoring everyone else from TODAK and just going straight after Chiku.
It's just punishment. It's a literal firing line. I know I use that as euphemism, but this is real.
What are they supposed to do at this point, LaFell? I want to ask you right now, what are the winning conditions for TODAK? Because it seems like
Chiku guys free hit, but how?
Exactly. I mean, now, how do they create an opening for Chiku guys to free hit?
Okay, first and foremost, they got to find a way to take down Edward. If Edward is taken care of, then that's good. Because I kind of feel like the rest, Chiku guys will eventually be able to kite. But kiting against the Joy is not an easy task.
Yeah, it's just 3 layers, like, right? Wise is just sitting on top whenever Natan tries to get his ultimate down by the clone, just to make sure that there's no safe place to walk to.
You have to body block that. That's how much damage and respect TODAK are giving it over to BLACKLIST International right now with the first Lord. They're able to march it down all the way. Oh, that's the final smash. Fading out the time journey, but Momo is going to be chunked out. Oh, the reverse time brings him back to the Bennett. And he's going to be out just like that. 0, 2, and 0 stat line for Momo as UF pops in another Astral Sphere. Wise dives deep onto the base. Rivals bringing it back. Appraiser's round not enabled. What? Owl, how did he get that kill with a Bennett? Jiku guys sniped down. He's still going to be able to dish out some damage. Wise is still alive, but finally falls. It's still going to be Owl who finds a double. Now with the reverse passion, Yue, one more shot. He needs it. But Jiku guys and Moon, they're trying to defend very heavily under the base, but Edward just jumps forward. 11 minutes. That's all it took for BLACKLIST.
Outclassed, absolutely rolled over, and spanked back. Good luck in game number 2, because BLACKLIST are looking mighty fine, extra sharp, but the mistakes coming out for TODAK, absolutely unacceptable here.
I gotta say, we were talking about the drive. We were talking about a lot of experimental things. I think the idea was there, but at the same time, I kind of feel like even they were caught by surprise by the early game of how many times Owl actually hit all of those ults. Like the Bennett Rage is I kind of feel like she was like, wait, I don't remember it doing this much damage.
And usually it's very hard to hit. The Bennett Rage, you need to combo it with something, but in this game it felt so easy.
More like you kind of have to let yourself be hit by it in some of those situations.
It was almost blind. He was like, maybe they're in this particular bush. And both of them were in that bush.
Oh man, that's rough. Rough game number 1 coming in for TODAK, but congratulations. That's BLACKLIST at least securing 1 point and also significant momentum for game number 2.
Dude, like that
11 minutes?
That wasn't even close.
That wasn't even close. That was a stomp. That was a giga stomp.
Yep, it was a stomp, but it also wasn't the fastest game that we've seen so far. I mean, generally speaking, 11 minutes, considering that the average game time is 18 minutes so far here at MSC, it's surprising to see that, wow, BLACKLIST, they know how to push the tempo, and even so, they even got a little greedy sometimes, which is uncharacteristic.
Edward said it before the game, I believe. He says that he is prepared and BLACKLIST International were prepared for the crazy drafts coming in from TODAK, and I think that's how you beat them, right? You don't try to counter it in-game, you just play the standard way, and you just do your thing.
I mean, like, looking at the situation, the Beatrix, the Joy. Again, the Joy hasn't been doing well, but Edward...
Agent Zero, bro.
Agent is just something different, man. It's just
Pop
like...
it up, bro.
I don't care if it's been nerfed. Nerf? What's that?
What's a nerf?
Dude, you mean balanced for me?
No.
Balanced for me.
That's a good way of putting it, actually, because overall, I mean, even in his matchup against Momo, generally both sides weren't getting too much until the big team fight started to roll back in, and he is just so patient. Agent Zero has a hit list, and he's going to make sure he's crossing off names, and real quick at it, too.
I think from the drafts as well here, Lafel
Yeah,
and Gideon,
definitely.
I want to talk about the Hilda pick, because, okay, it's a good counter pick, but how they're playing so much for the mid. Oh, final slash. You went. All good.
Yep, it's all good. You got the time journey. You can get out at any tight spot that you ever wanted to see. Now, it's interesting to see that BLACKLIST, as much as they like to play a very disciplined game, they are actually increasing the tempo, and they're increasing it significantly fast. It's already 7 minutes, 50 seconds into the game, 5.1k lead, and they're looking for somebody.
Owl with a brilliant flicker out. Wise with the peel as well. He might actually be able to go for the solo kill here onto Yums. He needs to be careful. Wise just walking them down as Jiku guys pops the entropy down below, gets chunked by the Renner's Apathy, has to jump back now. Wise, oh my goodness, Edward in the back, just freaking havoc, acting as a janitor, cleaning it up. US survives as Owl picks up a double. 11-1, BLACKLIST International.
It's not even close. It's not even remotely close right now. Even BLACKLIST International, look at the way that the waves are actually pushing, right? Because they put 5 people down on the bottom side. It's understandable that TODAK want to play defensive, but BLACKLIST have made sure they've done their homework and also the housekeeping as well. We're continuously pushing waves from the mid lane all the way to the slow push on the top side.
Jiku used absolutely everything that he can to run away. But look at that damage coming in from UA, man. Here's the thing. We talked about the Beatrix doing the draft. Taking away from BLACKLIST. If they took it away, maybe it wouldn't be like this, man. But, you know,
What's scary
hindsight.
What's scary is they predicted the Beatrix. That's
Yeah.
what they wanted to go up against. So the fact that the Beatrix is smashing them like this, It definitely hurts right now as Owl is already holding on to that Render's apple. He should be able to shoot it down. Oh, if that connected, Munu's dead. Wise jumping in under the turret. BLACKLIST International trying to siege this down, but they won't be able to do so right now.
Oh man, it's not good at all. This is perfect for BLACKLIST, right? Especially with the Navarre, it really complements their style. They get to check multiple bushes, they get free information pretty much all the time, and especially with the Diggy as well, with the auto alarm bombs, they essentially have visions in places where they technically shouldn't be, not having to recheck it and waste that time. So BLACKLIST are just making crisper calls all throughout this match.
For now, Joy is a 0% win rate here in MSC, and it looks like Edward wants to change that to 0-2.
Did you say 0% win rate?
Yeah, for now.
Agent 0.
Dude, like, something different here. Because here's the thing, right? Chiku, guys, if he could deal the damage, perhaps, right? Perhaps something could happen, but there's so many people from BLACKLIST ignoring everyone else from TODAK and just going straight after Chiku.
It's just punishment. It's a literal firing line. I know I use that as euphemism, but this is real.
What are they supposed to do at this point, LaFell? I want to ask you right now, what are the winning conditions for TODAK? Because it seems like
Chiku, guys, free hit, but how?
Exactly. I mean, now, how do they create an opening for Chiku guys to free hit?
Okay, first and foremost, they got to find a way to take down Edward. If Edward is taken care of, then that's good. Because I kind of feel like the rest, Chiku guys will eventually be able to kite. But kiting against the Joy is not an easy task.
Yeah, it's just 3 layers, like, right? Wise is just sitting on top whenever Natan tries to get his ultimate down by the clone, just to make sure that there's no safe place to walk to.
You have to body block that. That's how much damage and respect TODAK are giving it over to BLACKLIST International right now with the First Lord. They're able to march it down all the way. Oh, that's the final smash. Fading out the time journey, but Momo is going to be chunked out. Oh, the reverse time brings him back to the Bennett. And he's going to be out just like that. 0-2 and 0 stat line for Momo as UF pops in another Astral Sphere. Wise dives deep under the base. Rivals bringing it back. Appraiser's round not enabled. What? Owl, how did he get that kill with a Bennett? Chiku guy sniped down. He's still going to be able to dish out some damage. Wise is still alive, but finally falls. It's still going to be Owl who finds a double. Now with the reverse passion, Yue, one more shot. He needs it. But Chiku guys and Moon, they're trying to defend very heavily under the base, but Edward just jumps forward. 11 minutes. Under the base, but Edward just he needs it. But Chiku guys and Moon, they're trying to defend very heavily under the base, but Edward just jumps needs it. But Chiku guys and Moon, they're trying to defend very heavily under the base, but Edward just jumps forward. 11 minutes. That's all it took for BLACKLIST.
Outclassed, absolutely rolled.
Like, what else does the
Health. That's what she doesn't have.
She doesn't have physical damage too much.
Okay. Physical damage and health.
Physical damage and health. But at the same time, if you're not getting touched a lot, then, you know, it's like, it's good either ways. Navarre is one of those heroes that says, stranger danger. If you're gonna come to me, I'm just gonna go away. I have a lot of movement speed when I'm in those walls.
And not to mention that, you know, I find it, well, what's your opinion on this, Mirko? Because when I'm looking at Impure Rage and I already see an Enchanted Talisman, I think he was confident. It's like, yeah, I just need to spam more spells. It's not because I need the mana. The CDR is pretty important.
I love the confidence because RSJSG went for the mystery shop. I remember that very vividly. And the fact that he was able to get the snowball was the reason as to why the Navarre actually worked so well in the game. So the fact that BLACKLIST International, Yue, here a rookie playing his first ever international tournament, was confident enough to bring the Impure Rage. He knows how good he is on that skill shot, and he knows that even if I fall behind, we always got Owl. I just need to, you know, multiply the hitboxes.
Hey, here's the thing, right? Impure Rage gives you more damage, gives you mana. It made it so that he doesn't have to recall as much. I mean, the skill recall, sure, but meaning not literally recall going back to his base. And looking at the stats here as well, Yue dealt the most damage.
Oh, yeah.
Not surprisingly, by the way, 40,000 damage dealt in 11 minutes, 869 gold per minute for Owl. Yume's taking a brunt of that damage, and Oh My Venus is always there for the team fights.
Yue, that is some nasty damage. He wasn't missing a single one of those shots, and I think even for like Chiku guys, right, even though he was getting punished, how does this affect the rest of the team? Because he was calling for a lot of reinforcements, a lot of support, and that's why you're seeing even in the previous slide that everybody was getting hurt in their economy because they were pulled away to the gold side of the map.
I gotta say, man, this makes it very difficult to draft against BLACKLIST because you kind of want to respect Oh My Venus's hero pool, but at the same time, if you do that, you're letting go of everything else for everyone else.
What was the bans earlier? It was the Estes, Glue, and the Valentina. So one ban towards Venus, but now, I think especially if TODAK wants to go for a heavy CC lineup, they were way too tunnel vision on just the Estes, just the Florin, just the healing heroes, because the Diggy is something you really need to be aware of, especially if you want to go and first pick Arlet and Akai.
Exactly, right? So much CC, finding out that counter engage. And here's the thing, we were talking about maybe even overloading the CC. I was thinking maybe even, hey, put Yums on that Akai, maybe get even a Minotaur jungle, get really wacky and maybe a little zany with it.
Zany, I like that. But yeah, I kind of feel like this should be a good thing for TODAK to kind of like have a rough understanding of the movements coming in from Blacklist, so that game number 2, they could properly adjust.
Look, so many things are changing. The meta continues to shift, but even more so, we've heard announcements. In the matter of fact, Project Next is coming up real soon. The 2023 Project Next update is coming very, very soon, starting from the 27th of June. The revamped emblem system that we've all been waiting for. And of course, the Eurydicio story, the brand new hero, a generous event, and remarkable bonuses are about to meet everyone as soon as you log into the game. And if you want to know more about the new updates, all you have to do, open up your game, go check it out for yourself.
On your ROG phone.
Is it Ixia?
I have no idea.
It's a marksman, by the way, so yeah. And it's pretty good. Ixia
It's kind of cool.
I've seen the videos, right? I mean, it was kind of like the first ever marksman real world manipulation, right?
Yeah.
He gets it. He's on board with this one.
Either way,
It's kind of local.
2, I kind of feel like Valentina is very scary, but at this point, yeah, dude, Novaria, out. No. Let's have none of that. Unless somehow TODAK could get it first pick, but still, Varia's low-key disgusting.
Yeah.
I think the Novaria bait, I think the TODAK were actually trying to bait it out. I like that. I like that idea because they like to go for these chaotic dive compositions. The thing is, though, Blacklist were aware of that. They were already set up for the Novaria in the game. Kaja, Lance, and Ling. Main point being the Lance and Ling. These two junglers are probably the two junglers that can actually get close without getting completely countered like the Fanny with the actual recall, and also just the Hayabusa, because they're always clumped up.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. You know what? Now that I think about it, the Hayabusa is a very good pick going up against the Novaria. But yeah, you actually made a very good point that they're always clumping up. Another one that I'm thinking about is potentially a Karina. But again, because they're all clumping up, might not be a very, very good idea. So honestly, I kind of feel like the moment they saw the Lance and Ling ban, they should really change up their strategy.
Yeah, I think, you know, they caught on pretty quickly as well.
Very quickly.
Very big shout outs to Dexstar, actually, because he's going to be the one that's not only studying the teams, but preparing the whole team of Blacklist International for the draft. And he's been working with them for a long, long time, maybe in the shadows, but now taking that spotlight, we're seeing his genius up on stage.
It's almost like Blacklist have mastered the basics.
He did it. He set the thing. He set the thing.
Either ways, game number 2, again, like, I don't know, as a Malaysian, right? Because usually, even if we do lose, there's some sort of a fight. Oh, dude, this
wasn't even close.
That was a sound effect for the game.
This is one of those situations, if you went out, grabbed dinner, came back, and was like, wait, I thought we started the game. It's like, it ended.
It's finished.
It's done, as a matter of fact. That's the teams. They're going to reset their mentals as well. And for Blacklist International, remember, they are currently at match point, and they might be walking away with, honestly, a game 2 that could even be easier than game number 1, assuming that TODAK's mentality has been broken.
I mean, momentum carries, yeah.
How can you have an easier game than game? That would be even scarier. Dude,
If they do that, if they get an 11-minute game against TODAK, against a team that many believe to be one of the strongest teams in groups, it's going to be PH Grand Finals, bro.
No, that's look,
I mean,
the format is making it difficult for that to happen.
All the love to Philippines, but you guys can win. Just don't make it PH Finals.
You already had 1 year.
The thing is, first pool already. It's set up for Blacklist International. If they win this, there's a high chance that they will meet in the Grand Finals.
That's a good point too, but let's not forget about the rest of the competition, right? Because we've seen a lot of rises, ups and downs, and honestly just the evolution and quick growth from the other regions putting up some big fights. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, in the middle of the year what it's going to be like. Maybe even so, this could be setting up for the end of the year for a grand match.
Now I'm just wondering, either TODAK will double down on craziness, or go back to something like meta, you know, because they tried something here. They tried with the Natan. Clearly didn't work out.
I think it's time to take a step back. Take a step back, right?
Really?
I mean, yeah, I think they should take a step back because I feel like they should understand first that these prio or these crazy off-meta picks, it works if some of these heroes are left open, right? The Ard Gold, it was set up properly when the Ling is possible, so you can play it with a rival in the jungle. When the Ling and Lance is gone, the prioritizing just seems like they just want to go for something crazy that they completely forgot what they were meant to do, you know?
I don't know. That's why I'm thinking. That's why I'm thinking on the opposite end of the spectrum, right?
Go even
I'm
crazier?
thinking go even crazier, right? Because at the end of the day, you have talented players, and you need. And we've seen Blacklist, especially in the earlier stages, get thrown off guard by Team Occupy, and that's all about off-tempo plays, right? Something that's not so readable. And I think at least when you look at a hero like Hilda, for an example, you know for a fact what Hilda is trying to do. It becomes a very linear path to kind of develop yourself in those early stages, and then the fact that you already have to play through mid as well as the gold lane that can easily get priority with the Beatrix and the Novaria, it made it even simpler.
I'm thinking of something right now.
Uh-huh.
Toda, I kind of feel like they tried to win with aggression, EXP, as well as jungle. I feel like you got to go for option number 2, which is playing the double split.
The double split? Are we talking about like a 1-3-1 sort of situation? Or
Banana split on a PH?
Because here's the thing, right? Blacklist International, they're going to group up. You have very good laners on Chiku guys as well as Momo. And the thing is, Rival, if he can get any kind of assassin, he's pretty good on that split push as well. Because at this point of time, I kind of feel like when you're trying to fight a team that is very good in team fights, it really could go very badly for you. So I'm almost looking at a draft where there's a possibility where they can split the map. If Blacklist 4 members down, push top. If 4 members mid, push top and bottom, you know? Try to pull Blacklist around instead of trying to brute force it. That's one of the ideas I'm thinking about for TODAK here.
That's rather interesting because when I think about it even more, and especially during the grand finals of MPLPH, where Echo was putting a lot of focus on trying to pull away one of the members, and in this case it was Edward, that's when it became a little bit awkward, right? Again, 4v5 situations aren't exactly the best to deal with.
I don't know, man. For me personally, looking at the drafts and looking at the way they play, I think a lot of teams are just overthinking whenever they go up against Blacklist and Echo. You don't need to be too crazy. Stick to the fundamentals and try to beat them there first, because if you don't try even that first, you don't know how it's gonna work.
Fair point, fair point. But it's time for game number 2. Blacklist International on match point. Let's jump into the draft. TODAK going to be taking first pick this time against Blacklist International on set.
There you go, Diggy.
The respect bands coming on through.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Diggy really put a wrench in the pocket here. Blacklist, if they don't ban out the Novaria, I kind of feel like Moon will pick it up as well. So for now, TODAK, honestly, if I was them, I might as well ban out the Joy or the Frederick, because I kind of feel like those 2 heroes were a big problem just now.
The Joy. I can understand the Joy. I don't know if the Frederick is going to be necessarily worth. Actually, maybe it might be worth it now that Lancelot is gone.
They can also just first pick it, to be completely honest with you. If they ban out the Novaria here, maybe they can first pick it. But yeah, if the Novaria gets left open, that's the thing. Do TODAK want to go for it?
Let's see what direction is. They've got 4 more seconds until we see it. They're discussing it thoroughly. It's going to be the Valentina. This could be the setup for the Novaria.
Okay, so even if TODAK gets the Novaria, because again, we gotta assume that Blacklist, they want to ban out the Ling here. Even if they do pick up the Novaria for TODAK, I kind of feel like it is going to be a Fredrin pickup again. And then perhaps something around, I don't know, because even the roamer position, I kind of feel like they can hide it for a bit, unless they just instantly pick up something like a Florian, because Florian Fredrin is pretty solid as well.
Okay, so the Ling.
Or a Glue. The Glue Florid is very disgusting.
I think they might not go. Yeah, I don't think they'll go for Florian first pick though. I think they're gonna go for Glue and then Feramis, take that counter away, and then use the Feramis as a flex pick. We know that Venus can play it role. Yeah. We know that Yua is a very good Feramis as well, and with the Valentina banned out, not a bad pick to go for.
I don't know. I feel like it's dangerous no matter what, right? You pick the Feramis, Yves is going to get picked up from the side of Blacklist International instead of the Novaria, unless TODAK want to get really crazy with it and somehow put Yums on the Novaria in the roam position, then I suppose maybe that's an answer. And even if they do it the opposite way, oh, you pick up the Glue, that means that Blacklist International is going to get the Faramis.
Exactly. Novaria is the safest first pick for TODAK right now.
The falling stars.
And it will be the first pick.
Yep. 6 times picked so far with an 85% ban and pick rate with only a 67% win rate thus far. Let's see how BLACKLIST International is going to respond. We should expect to see the Fredrin, but pair it with what? Fredrin plus X.
That's a very good question. One of the heroes I'm thinking about to go straight for the Novara is something like a Yuzong. If not the Yuzong, perhaps the Lapu Lapu if they want to pick up the Joy as well, maybe. But yeah, I kind of feel like there is a lot of options for Ed where it really does come up to his comfort. You want a Yuzong, you want a Lapu, you want a Joy. Either of those would be fine. Not just in going with the Novara, but any kind of hero that Chico wants to use.
Benedetta, Agent Zero,
Benedetta as well,
pick.
yeah.
I looked Miracle in the eye. He's like, oh, I saw the light in his eyes, and it felt like both of us had the light bulbs go off at the same time. Let's see whether it's going to be that. No, it's going to be Eve for now. Are they going to pair it up with the Fredrin straight off the bat, or are they going to go look a completely different direction and prioritize Agent Zero this time around to keep it flexible? No, it's going to be the Fredrin once again for the opener of BLACKLIST International. Now, we move on to the next
Claude?
2 picks from TODAK. Yeah, I think Claude is going to be an overall safe pick, right?
Yeah, Claude and perhaps something for Rival here, because if not, I think it is going to be completely banned out. Because I kind of feel like Claude is overall safe. Maybe an EXP later, I don't know, man.
I don't know. Looking at it right now, I honestly feel like picking up the Beatrix is going to be a bit better for TODAK because they kind of want BLACKLIST International to go for gold laner in the last pick of the first phase. Because right now, BLACKLIST are setting up for a beautiful last pick in the first phase to counter TODAK's XP. And that's going to be the Joy pickup and the Claude. BLACKLIST International, this is the time to go for that XP laner. And or they could just go for, honestly, the Beatrix too.
Yeah.
Technically.
It's a little tough to say here. I think either
Hold on, is
or
it
isn't
okay
that
for a
bad.
Brody?
Ooh, I suppose. I mean, there is a world where Brody is picked up by Owl here. In terms of the matchup against, at the very least against Claude, it's a more Brody favorite.
Why
for the
not
time
Wanwan?
being. But Wanwan is probably going to be the go-to, right? I mean, it makes sense. It's wide open. You're able to negate a majority of the CC. If Joy starts running at you, if you see it coming, more importantly, you proc the weakness points, use the crossbow of tank to buy that extra bit of time.
Only concern, if you go for the 1-1, is you're going up against that Claude, so definitely the Arlet, the XP lane pick is a bit more, well, it's a bit better for BLACKLIST International. Good against the Claude, counters, and pretty okay lane up against the Joy as well. Skill matchup.
Yeah.
So right now, TODAK, they have 2 bans to think about because now, what are they looking for? Either they got to shut down Owl or Venus.
Owl or Venus, how would you do that? Because they've already dedicated at least 2 bans towards Venus' side. They could go for even more. They could get rid of potentially, let's see, I mean, Florin seems pretty decent.
Maybe Florin Beatrix, Florin Brody, like,
I'm thinking just Beatrix and 1-1.
yeah.
I think leaving those 2 open is still okay, right? Because even, let's say, all right, Brody gets picked up here, you can just pick up the steel leg plates. One of the reasons Brody has actually fallen out of the meta is because you're not as oppressive as you used to be. There's so many defensive items that are really good up against the Brody right now, and obviously also the buffs to its anti-Curus is making it very hard for Brody to come back in the meta.
Is banning.
What's up with this Matilda?
Yeah. I gotta get scrim leaks or something. I don't know what's going on.
What? Why the Matilda? Why so much
It's
priority?
not even the same team.
Yeah, it's
TODAK
TODAK now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Oh My Venus is pretty good on the Matilda. So, asking the question, do you target Venus or Owl? So far, they're saying, nah, fam, it's still Venus.
It's Oma Venus.
It's Oma Venus.
I would like to believe that, but in this case, like, how does Matilda really kind of work together with the rest of their composition, right? Because it feels like if BLACKLIST International...
You will always follow the Claude wherever it goes.
Well, that's a good point. That is a good
And it gets you out of the Joy, right?
Yep.
Remember, that's the Guiding Wind is a very good mobility tool that they can utilize.
At the end of the day, I would still imagine that the Beatrix would be the ban here, and I feel like BLACKLIST International would be more than happy to pick it up and even pair it up with a Florin if necessary, right?
This is so hard. Going up against BLACKLIST
And TODAK.
And TODAK.
It's like whatever
So
you
hard to
ban,
predict.
whatever you ban, in hindsight, people will say, you're wrong.
No, you're wrong.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Bene? No. Did you say Arlet?
You're wrong. You're wrong. I mean, like, again, like, here's the thing. Because both teams can go very, very crazy, that we forget the obvious choice.
Yeah, it's the Spider-Man meme all over again. Welcome to the Spider-Verse. They're all just pointing at each other. It's just, you don't know who's who's the real one. With Martis, follow-up ban and the final ban coming in for BLACKLIST International. TODAK, last 4 seconds to determine their fate here. And it's going to be Aramis this time around. Okay.
Count it out. 4 bans towards Oh My Venus.
Yeah. Oh man, it's back to M3 again. We're back to M3. This is literally what happened at M3.
I'm thinking about this. I'm feeling like, okay.
Oh, what? Venus on the wait.
I respect that.
Hey, Minotaur has a heal.
Minotaur does have a heal, and it's not like Oh My Venus has not played Minotaur in the Queen's career ever, because the truth is, it has been played before. It has been utilized. She has one of the biggest hero pools in the MLBB community, but the setup from TODAK banning out this Faramis means that this droid might actually just go into the jungle, they pick up glue for themselves and hope for the best.
Oh man, and now with the Minotaur, Arlet, Yves, and the Fredrin, it just sets up perfectly for another Beatrix pick, and the Beatrix does pretty well against the Claude as well, so they're really just sticking to what worked in game number 1, but they're just changing a little bit, right? There's still a clumped up composition, it's still really unique, but TODAK, what do they have to say? What is the response at this point?
It's either they look for combo components?
No, honestly, I'm just thinking, what can you use here? And he's going for his signature Cho, as well as Rival going for the Akai, so quite a bit of feel here. Now, Yumes is pretty good on the Cho, but against this kind of matchup, even I'm not entirely sure, man, because you kind of don't want to kick the Arlet, you don't want to kick the Minotaur, you don't want to kick the Fredrin, you sometimes can't even kick the Eve, so not a lot of options. Yumes, 1 out of 5. You gotta be insane at locking down those targets.
I mean, it's not even just about locking, it's about canceling abilities with the third hit of Jeet Kune Do, right? There's so many valuable ults that you could potentially stop in its tracks with it, but that's like, what, 1 or 2 frames that you're working with?
It's a very, very high skill matchup right now for Yumes especially. And yeah, I was about to say, BLACKLIST, they could just go for the Beatrix, they could go for the carry and have a Purify, but then that mobility will certainly be a problem. If you want the best of both worlds, you want Purify and you want some damage, mobility as well, it's the Wan.
It's so good here. Man, it's strange to see that Wan is left all the way to the end. Like, it's such a high priority pick for so many of these teams. But personally for me, I don't think it's looking very good for TODAK right now.
If I'm gonna quote Peter Parker, I'm not feeling good, Mr. Stark.
Oh, yes.
I mean, actually, no. Who is that? I only know Spider-Man.
Oh, okay, yes. I don't know who you're talking about.
Who is Spider-Man?
I have no idea. Maybe it's Owl.
Forget what I said earlier. Oh, dude. Spoilers, by the way. Sorry.
Big spoilers.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I can't wait to see how this game is going to go. TODAK has a mountain to climb in BLACKLIST International. They're already feeling it. They know they might just get first seed here.
Oh, they know it. They're confident and in their draft as well. We're going to see how it works out in the Land of Dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2. A possible clean sweep here for TODAK. They may be able to pull an upset if the draft worked for them. How does it work?
Let's find out. Let's prod at it. Let's prod at it and hope for the best, because now we're seeing an early level 2 opener from Edward as well as UA working together on that top side of the map. While the mid lane has been early shoved just to secure this Litho Wanderer.
Yeah, right now looking at the situation of BLACKLIST. Actually, again, because Yumes, I'm thinking on the Fredrin as well, because Wise can cancel out his Way of the Dragon. So, I don't know. We really got to see TODAK kind of like play out of their minds. They got to out-micro BLACKLIST, but that's going to be very difficult, man.
They certainly have to practice their minds off to get a slight edge in the early game. I believe it's still neutral objective-centric for the Akai.
Yeah, it really is going to be. Let's look at the in-game equipment, see if there's anything out of the ordinary. Nope, everything looks pretty standard here. Early like plates, a pair of pants for Rival early on. But at the end of the day, once those level 4s start coming on through, that's when the real action's going to begin.
Yeah, right now we can see TODAK, they're more worried about the physical damage. BLACKLIST, they're more worried about the magical damage. Now, Oh My Venus just going to get chunked down just a little bit. Even Retribution is used. Wise is up, and he's level 4.
A lot of commitments. Praises Wrath as well. Rival forced to use the heavy spin just to disengage. But he gets chunked really low right there. Has to respect it, and the turtle should be spawning in just a bit. So it does give BLACKLIST International more room to play with to set up for it.
I think at this point, right, they have already got position. 5 more seconds until the turtle is going to spawn. And you can already see that Edward, is pretty deep in there, making sure that he spots everybody. He sees Momo early. He's going to try and trade against them early.
All right, Momo jumping back and forth, trying to buy some time right now, trying to give some vision. His that's going to be the ultimate coming down from the Varia. Rival's looking for retribution right now. His that's a bit of fury to cancel it out. Edward slashes it away, and that's Rival taken out. First blood over. Yums falls as well. Agent Zero with a double kill.
Beautiful timing from Oh My Venus, right? Just charging up that Minoan Fury to make sure that that last third hit is going to deter Rival, because if he tries to go into that fight or in towards that pit, he's going to get knocked up and won't be able to use his retribution in time or compete against Wise.
This is a very bad start for TODAK here. In fact, Blacklist International 1,000 goal lead at the first 3 minutes of the game. Wise taking advantage of it, actually taking some jungle away. Now you guys, as well as Yums against Owl, kind of feel like it is going to be a difficult lane for you to get a kill.
It is. This matchup is not really that good for the Claude, technically. He just, well, for the Claude, it's just all about clearing waves and getting that average stack, right? For Owl, he can actually just go and force all-ins from time to time here. The only thing that really makes it hard for Owl usually is TODAK's going to be all across the place looking to go and gank him. The fact that the TODAK are always playing for the neutral objective because of the Akai pick gives Wanwan so much free presence, and that's why he's been able to commit so many times onto an all-in trade.
Well, let's look at the supports here, because right now Oh My Venus just making sure that Yums is kept into check, right? Man-to-man defense, as Leo likes to call it, and I think that's the perfect way to describe it, because they're making sure that no one really disrupts this bottom side.
Oh, Moon has used the actual recall. He's going to be caught. Flicker. That's the response, and now Minifurium to the Flicker out as well. 2 Flickers burnt out. 3 minutes in, top side, Edward almost getting a solo kill up against Momo. Vengeance and Flicker also down here. Rival might be forced to use the heavy spin defensively, but will be able to escape from the Appraiser's Wrath with just a dash.
Look at how Wise is moving, but now look at Chiku guys as well as Owl.
Okay, good Purify from Chiku guys. Takes the stacks away, takes the weakness points away, and it does give him a little bit more time. And I think they wanted to commit to a dive, but they hesitated.
But again, look at how Wise was moving. This is the kind of Fredrin I'm talking about. Whenever he sees someone, he doesn't hesitate. If I'm going to retreat, I'm just going to retreat. I don't care about the neutral objectives. I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to get some kind of positive here. Speaking of Turtle, looks like Wise going to take it for free.
Not even a retreat there. He actually wanted to save it to go for a possible invade on the purple buff, but Rival just used his own retreat knowing that, you know, it's a bit too risky to go for that. Meanwhile, Chiku, it does seem like, thought that was going to hit Owl. Looking for the, he can actually go for the all-in right now, but he has to be very, very careful with a few members already rotating down below. Natural recall, it's a sphere here, but again, this is why the Wanwan's super good against the Novaria. You can dash out. Mobility is so good for Blacklist.
Yeah, it's a hard target to hit, and as we mentioned before, like TODAK's lineup, it's going to require a high level of precision, a high level of execution, in a matter of fact. Somehow they're going to need, despite these odds and disadvantages, they just need to hit these shots.
They're just playing for Chiku right now. Just trying to get him ahead, but Owl's going to be able to do so much damage right now. With a few hits, heavy spin already committed onto Venus, going to be brought back to the team. Minifuri was actually cancelled out, but she is still going to be able to dish out some CC. Momo in the back, zoning this backline away, but Yums is just going to be teared down, melted from 2 of the frontliners from the side of Blacklist International. That's how far ahead they are. They don't even need their backline. UA stop the recalls right now. Rival is caught. Wise picks up a double kill. The utility jungler dealing this much damage as Momo finally will be able to do something about it as Chiku gets the kill. But look at Wise again and again stopping the recalls. The most annoying Fredrin, the Psycho Fredrin! But once you're distracted, Edward comes through with the final slash. That's the Appraiser's Wrath to clear out the wave as well. A prolonged team fight, but certainly it's good for Blacklist. Oh, Retreat! Whoa!
Psycho Fredrin, man.
Psycho Fredrin.
Woo! You're right about the Psycho Fredrin. Initially, I was thinking that maybe Edward was getting a little upset. Hey, you're not paying attention to me. Look at me when I am talking to you, as he final slashes them out and initiates the dive for the rest of the team. Blacklist are playing a fine game right now, giving no room for any kind of comeback for TODAK as of yet.
Right now, 3,000 goal lead for Blacklist International. And here's the thing, man. You got to find a way to make sure that Oh My Venus uses the Minoan Fury early, because a lot can be cancelled here, especially Chiku guys on his Blazing Duet, and now Blacklist International, they're starting the turtle, and Owl is pushing everyone away. He's the one zoning them out.
Without Inspire, he does that much damage already, zoning Rival away. And Rival, I think he made a good move not to use the heavy spin there again. He just called that he doesn't want to go for the neutral objective of Chiku now. Yep, that's the flicker. Chiku is dead.
They've got to play for another out at this point. It's clear that Blacklist are making sure that Chiku isn't able to feel comfortable outside of lane or even underneath his turret. They need to somehow punish Edward, which I don't think is even possible at this point because these early trades have put him significantly ahead of the curve than he should be.
Right now, Momo as well is trying his best just to make sure that he can get something here. He's 1v1ing Edward. And so far, he is kind of winning the trade, but Edward is staring him down.
Uh-oh, that's a solo kill, if I've ever seen one. Agent Zero playing it perfectly. Yoom's now going to fall to the crossbow Tang. That's Oh My Venus tanking up a few turret shots. Wise, Psycho, Frederick with a taunt as well. The Purifier's not ready. He jumps back to the Battle Mirror image, but it's only onto Blacklist side. That's Yue with a flicker. Another BMI. Chiku, how long are you going to be able to run? How long can you prolong this? Getting the stacks. Yue, he's not even going to wait. He's not even going to greet it out. Instant real-world manipulation. The respect given over.
And even in the mid lane, we see Rival. He's going to get run down by Owl at this point of time. Good stun coming in from Edward as well. What can you really do realistically? Rival, he's going to get back out of here.
Honestly, at this point, what I can see what TODAK is trying to do is they're trying to minimize the amount of damage that they're receiving, clearing out the minions as fast as they can, making sure that Blacklist can't fully push it out right now. Looking at the gold difference here for the gold laners, 6,300, 400 for the 1-1 on Owl, 5,300 on Chiku guys with this Claude, roughly about 11,000 difference.
11,000 difference?
1,100, sorry.
1,100. That makes a lot more sense here. I mean, the gold deficit already is 6.4k, and the majority of it, and you know, considering everything that has happened, 3 turtles falling into the hands of Blacklist International, but more importantly, only 1 structure has fallen 9 minutes into the game. I guess this is going to be a lot longer than game number 1 at the very least.
I mean, like I said, they want to split, man, because look at the way that TODAK is playing. They're just playing the map. It's like, you know what, I am not interested in fighting you guys right now. I'm just solely looking at the turrets.
They can't. They simply just can't go for any team fights right now, being 6,000 gold behind. Moon can go for a cheeky little steal, but with a body block for Wise and even Owl, I think with damage as well. But Chiku jumps back to the Battle Mirror image right now. Purify, perfect Purify, but the damage is not enough. Yue sustains with the RWM, and Edward just stays in the back. That was good mechanics, but when you're too far behind, you don't deal damage. They're going for more, actually. Owl still has the Inspire, still has the Purify as well. Crossbow Tang not ready just yet. Momo finds the kill back. That's a knockup from V, though, and Momo should fall to Wise. Rival with the heavy spin, only locking Wise, but there's no follow-up. He's going to be forced to disengage, and it's still Blacklist who are dictating the game.
Yep, they continue to dictate in game. They lead by tempo, and they also lead by example. Now they're going to be crashing down this mid-tier 1, and more importantly, they got the sideways working for them at the same time. With a lead like this, it's hard to imagine that Blacklist is going to make that blunder. They are known to be methodical. They are known to play by the book. But if they want to increase the tempo like they did in game number 1, I think this is the trigger point.
This is going to be very difficult for TODAK because, again, we see what they're going for, but it's one of those things that is going to look cool if you make it happen, but you're putting yourself at so much of a risk here because, again, you are losing the game for now. And look at that. Wise doesn't care. He's marching in.
He just walks up menacingly. Momo and Rival able to deal out with the First Lord because Blacklist International did not have their marksman. Owl was actually taken down earlier. They can't push even more into the base, but hey, 2 tier 2s is completely fine.
I am getting some Dio vibes from Wise. He's just walking up. It's like, who's ready to face me? 2v1, let's go!
Right now, level 14 for Wise, level 11 for Rival. As a jungler, that does not feel good.
That hurts.
That hurts a lot.
It hurts the soul to junglers all across the world here, as now the final outer turret will fall, and as I mentioned before, the trigger point, right? If Blacklist want to increase the tempo of the game, this is how they're going to do it. And we passed the 11-minute mark, and we're guaranteed to make it into the 12th before Blacklist will secure the next upcoming Lord. And I think that's when TODAK are really going to have to put everything at the wall, but with such a lead that we see from Blacklist International from an 8.3, which is going to develop into a 10k lead when the next wave of neutral creeps starts spawning, especially the jungle creeps as well. Blacklist should have this no problem.
8,000 gold lead. Looking at this situation, I'm even wondering if TODAK forces a fight. Say Blacklist forces a fight and TODAK finds a good situation for them to fight back. I'm not entirely sure if they have enough damage to actually win that one, because right now, Blacklist, they're very tanky. Having the Fredrin, having the Minotaur, having the Arlet, a lot of CCs, healing, very tanky. It's very difficult to drop this kind of lineup down, man.
I mean, the only play that I could see that's viable right now is if TODAK can somehow isolate Owl. We did see them try to do something on the bottom side with both Owl and as well as UA paired up together. That could have been a point that TODAK could have tried to send members down there to fight it out. But then there's always that realistic approach of maybe that crossbow attack could outplay the entire team and cost them the entire game.
I think the problem right now is the fact that, TODAK have good CC lock. They have good single target damage as well, but they can't lock anybody down. Nobody in particular that you need to go for, right? Yue and Owl, those are the two main targets. Thing is, Owl has a built-in Purify, Yue is anti-CC with real-world manipulation. So, this CC from Yue, oh my god, what a move by Blacklist! Instantly for the top, they move down below, Yums is completely isolated, he buys the immortality here, he's trying to buy some time. Claude is all the way in the bottom lane, he can actually go for the push here. Be careful in the bottom lane right now. Owl's gonna be able to find the crossbow attack, but the bottom lane is gonna be the push once again. Yum's gonna be able to find the way the dragon, but the crossbow attack is still ready. Owl gonna be zoned away right now. Look at the base. The base is wide open. Base turret gonna be taken down. Does he have enough minions?
No.
2 cannon minions. 2 cannon minions right now. They might be able to do it. Jingle, guys!
It's
against
over.
all odds!
It's over.
You have to wait for it right now. Owl's
It's
marching,
over.
but it's all over!
It's over.
8,000 gold lead! It does not matter! They live in the chaos!
I called it, man. Someone clip that. Someone clip that.
What?
Tag me. I called it. For you to be Blacklist International, don't think about a fight. Go for the side lanes.
You're right!
I called it. Someone clip that. Someone clip the things that I said, man.
How? No! I can't believe that! Who made that call?
It's over.
Away right now, look at the base. The base is wide open. Base turret is gonna be taken down. Does he have enough minions?
No.
2 cannon minions. 2 cannon minions right now. They might be able to do it. Jingle, guys!
It's
against
over.
all odds!
It's over.
You have to wait for it right now. Owl's
It's
marching,
over.
but it's
It's
all
over.
over!
It's over.
You have to wait for it right now. Owl's
It's
marching,
over.
but it's
It's
gonna be able to find the cross. Is completely isolated. He buys the immortality here. He's trying to buy some time. Claude is all the way in the bottom lane. He can actually go for the push here. Be careful in the bottom lane right now. Owl's gonna be able to find the crossbow attack, but the bottom lane is gonna be the push once again. Yum's gonna be able to find the way the dragon, but the crossbow attack is still ready. Owl gonna be zoned away right now. Look at the base. The base is wide open. Base turret gonna be taken down. Does he have enough minions?
No.
2 cannon minions. 2 cannon minions right now. They might be able to do it. Jingle, guys!
It's
against
over.
all odds!
It's over.
You have to wait for it right now. Owl's
It's
marching,
over.
but it's
It's
all
over.
over!
It's over.
8,000 gold lead! It does not matter! They
We don't have to.
I'm at a loss of words.
I'm just glad it's not a 2-0.
It is. I mean, you called it, LaFell. I was already down, and I was like, yeah, Blacklist International basically have this in the bag. You can't beat them at the fight, but you can buy a lot of time, and apparently buying a lot of time is a win con.
You want to show what I did after the draft ended?
Oh, he was like,
It's like, nah, it's not happening. The 2-0 is about to come, but man, now we're going to be moving on towards a game 3. Who would have thunk? Who would have imagined it?
I mean, 8,000 gold lead. I think you would be able to imagine it before the series actually started, but then after game 1, you're like, okay. And then after the 8,000 gold lead, you're like, that's what I said after the draft of game number 2. Maybe it was the curse activated just as I do this, but what the heck? What?
okay, so if anyone wants to do that, because again, you got to look at the macro of what TODAK did.
That's slow push.
Even if they die, if they die, look at the situation. We don't care as long as the minions die with us, because even Yums, as a roamer, he's clearing the minions. They're proxying the wave making sure that there's no way that the minions are touching the turrets. Because again, buying time, you can die as much as you want in-game, not in real life, kids. As long as your turrets are there, there's always hope. And again, Chiku guys has this ability to see across the map.
Spatial awareness.
Spatial
He's an anime character.
And again, Psycho Fredrin quickly retrying Yumes, and then he's like, yo, I think Wise has eyes for me.
I mean, that might have been the tell, right? The information is relayed, Rival sees the angle, Chiku makes the call, and it all dominoes into a win for TODAK. And I honestly
Replay.
hope to see the replay just to see the full entire setup here. And LaFell, you gotta break that down when it does come up. But in the meantime here, we can bask in the glory that we at least are getting a game 3.
I thought it was going to be the most anti-climactic last game in the group stages because usually we always have something going on. We always have a tiebreaker or just a 2-1 game to end off the group stages, and it was looking like a 2-0 and not even a close one at that. It was looking like a complete stomp. TODAK, hey, expect the unexpected. I expected Blacklist to win in game 2. When I expect something, it does not happen.
Yeah, even for me, I'm agreeing with Miracle throughout that game. I was like, yeah, this is not going well. Every interaction is not falling into the hands of TODAK. Oh, look at him. Camera cut to him. Yeah, you look at the smugness on his face.
I mean, again, I called it, but here's the thing. It's kind of hard to do that without the Claude. I have to say that. With the Claude, it's doable. But again, camera sees your focus on me. Called it.
Bask in it. Bask in that glory here. I can't wait to see the post-game stats because, wow, people are going to be very confused when they screenshot this and post this on their own MPL groups. Like, what happened?
I want to see the actual real post-game stats because I think most of the players from TODAK were bronze. Like, they were all chocolate. It's a chocolate victory for them. So literally, it is a sweet victory. I want to see that. Someone please screenshot that in the back because I want to see full chocolate TODAK who won against a full gold Blacklist.
This is for socials as well. They'll be great to see.
Right?
That'd be great.
You don't have to have good KDA to win.
Dude, 2 kills! They had 2 kills!
as well.
Dude, imagine like people who did not watch the game, you'd be like, production made a mistake. You meant Blacklist won.
Nope.
MVP of the game. I kind of feel like
KDA,
let's go! 0.
Hey,
33% T5 participation.
to everyone who was spamming Chiku feeder,
Yo!
he feeds, but it doesn't matter.
Feed
He's
to
Chiku.
win. Feed to win.
Feed to win.
I'm too excited right now. Because, dude, winning that way, mwah.
Chef's kiss.
Beautiful.
I love winning that way, but I've never done it like 1-4. I'm usually like...
We can try that tonight.
I guess 1-4. I've never seen a team get stomped so hard and still be able to pull off a backdoor.
I mean, look at this heat map, man.
All of a sudden, there's one dot in the base.
Oh my god.
Just one dot in the base.
That's Chiku.
I mean, his laning phase is all around, like the 4th minute down by the bottom side, and then eventually you see him rotate, and after that, he's just constantly #1 being targeted down by Blacklist International, never stopped moving up until the 13th minute where he stands at the crystal. Let's look at the highlights, break this down for us, LaFell.
Breaking it down, Blacklist won.
Yeah.
Until they lost.
I mean, again, what's there to honestly?
33%.
I'm gonna be honest with you, LaFell. It's
right.
gonna be really hard to do your job here because Blacklist were just stomping. There was nothing to analyze. Blacklist were just doing their thing.
Okay, I can analyze because if only we don't see just the fights, because look at the way that TODAK managed the waves. I think that's the crucial thing. I think that is what all of the online coaches, online analysts have to look at this game. Because look, Chiku guys already know he's gonna die. He did not attempt to run away. He just like, hey, wait, there's a minion there. I'm just gonna clear it. Just now, he cleared as well. Tried to kill Yue, it didn't happen, but he still cleared the lane.
I like how Chico already foreshadowed that play. He went back to a battle mirror image to try to kill Yue, so he's a movie.
Yeah. No, he won. Look at this. Again, Gideon just said it. Rivals stop absolutely everyone. Here's the thing. As a Novaria, you have the range to stop those recalls as well. You could Astral Echo, man. Like, you want to recall? I'm going to stop you just for a little bit. No one was able to recall. Look at that.
And the best part, the Astro Echo also has a slow, so even if you want to run back into base really, really fast, you can't. You just can't. Look at this. What is this?
Moon's probably the only one without the chocolate.
Yeah, Moon's like, guys,
He's probably the MVP. He's probably the MVP in game, and that's why, again, the MVP in game doesn't show you much.
1, 0, and 1. It's like, guys, I got this. I'm gonna carry you. We were talking about how Moon, sometimes he makes the mistakes. He was the one that did not die at all.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. All the narratives that we have set up to this one almost anticlimactic, but turning to one sweet moment.
Dude, 13
13-3.
minutes. 13 minutes, man.
They're like, yeah, we can beat you.
Dude,
How? We
Blacklist
stop you.
have 1 kill per minute.
They have a kill per minute as well. And TODAK ended the game with 3.
I'd be tilted, man.
Honestly,
I'll be tilted.
I'd be tilted too. I wish we could get a statement from Blacklist International because I think they have like, all right, we may have made a mistake here, but all respects going over to TODAK, taking that level of punishment. It is not easy to take. It is taxing on the mind.
Here's the thing. I saw Wise's face, and he was laughing.
Yeah.
Because I think he was like, how did we lose that game?
He's more concerned of like, man, I don't know how we did that. You know? Because it's like a two-man job.
It really is. I can't wait. I can't wait for Dexter to just look at the team and is like, guys, why? This could have been a lot easier, but let's look at the post-game numbers.
Wait,
I told... Mirko.
even damage dealt though.
Dude, here's the thing. I told you guys, during the meeting, it's like, Chiku will lose lane, but for some reason, 1, 4, and 0, he has the most gold. Make it make sense. How can 1, 4, and 0 be the highest gold? Momo has the most damage as well, which is impressive, but still.
Rival just took a beating. He's like, no, I'm not gonna get a single assist in this game. 0% victory.
0, 4, and 0.
0, 4, and 0. And guess what? Doesn't matter as long as you win, right?
Yeah.
Chocolate? I get
Numbers
chocolate.
don't matter.
Numbers don't matter.
Numbers don't matter. I mean, in terms of overall structures as well, like Blacklist have taken out all the outer turrets at the same time. I am just surprised that Owl wasn't in the rich guy category. Where did all the gold go? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I think the turrets just gave Chiku so much more gold, and the fact that he's always isolating himself from the team gets him so much more farm, and he's always also utilizing his resources to clear out waves.
Here's the thing. Even if overall Blacklist wins the fight, right? 2-1, at this point I kind of don't care. That win, you know what?
That was satisfying. It was satisfying.
Even if Blacklist wins overall, you know what? It's good. It's good. Like, we win like that. I think that is for the history books. That is for the Mobile Legends Book of Hall of Fame of games of that's very good that you didn't thought that would happen.
Iconic moments.
Yes. How do you get a win with only 3 kills?
8,000 gold deficit.
1, 4, and 0, and the MVP.
0-4-0 jungler.
Oh man, we have a joke in Malaysia that where we always saying like, you know, the split push meta is just it's for scrubs.
It's for scrubs. It's the weakest of the weak.
The weakest meta, and yet here we are.
You know, I used to say that as well for all the items. Everybody who builds defensive items, I call them a certain word.
Nerd.
We can say it here. Yes, there you go. Nerd. You guys are all nerds. But when you do it in the competitive stage, I don't think you're a nerd. I think you're an absolute Chad. Especially if you pull one off like this. You may be a scrub in your ranked games, but if you get all the way to MSC 2023 and you do it like that, 1-4-0, and you win the game, hey, you're not a nerd to me.
Yeah. Shout out to the weakest meta in Malaysia, split push. Shout outs to the weakest meta.
Wolf is in Malaysia right now, I believe.
What?
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, wait, yeah. Oh,
hold on. He's got a layover. He has a layover, to be fair. He's going to be stopping in Malaysia first before heading over into Cambodia. I don't know. I would like to get Wolf's thoughts at the same time.
No.
But then again,
don't get him on the
it's
pod.
safer not to.
no.
I'm convinced these guys have actually
the
locked
shoes are
Wolf up in a room.
The shoes are coming off already from this guy.
No Wolf.
No Wolf for now, but hopefully maybe that was the solution, right? All this time that TODAK has been coming up with those weird drafts and making analysts across the world be angry, just like Wolf. The fact that we don't have to deal with this curse, not this time. I
mean, all you gotta do is break the crystal. It's not that hard, man. I mean, just break the crystal.
no big deal, right?
No big deal. It's just like, it's just one thing. Just attack it a few times, eventually you'll fall. It's not that hard.
Yeah, just don't die, nerd.
Just don't die. I mean, you can die 4 times. 5, that's too much.
You know, the greatest part is that we have 5 minutes to fill in here, and we're supposed to be like post-breakdown.
All right.
What in the world can we actually
Come on,
say
Muto,
to
you
set
really want us
this
to break
up?
that down?
For 5 full minutes?
Actually, I could probably do it.
Honestly, we could, but I think more importantly, these 5 minutes are going to be crucial for both of these teams because even when we look back at it, TODAK is going to be thinking, all right, guys, we got really lucky there that we had an opportunity to bounce back, but the true question is how do we actually fix this draft? How do we fix the game? They're playing a little nervous, but with a bit of momentum and hopefully with this spark, we could see a potential even game in round 3.
Yeah, usually in the best of 3, especially when it goes all 3 games, we get one stomp game from one side, from red side, and then we get a stomp game from blue side, and then we get a close game. This time, we have a stomp game from red side, and then a stomp game from red side. I don't know what's going. I don't know what's coming up.
I'm nervous for it. I'm honestly nervous for it.
I'm just worried if the Claude has been banned out. Because, again, like I said, you could do it with carry as well, but you got to secure a Franco or a Kaja. Right? Certain heroes can definitely push to end. Brody as well, but again... Moskov, but again...
Natan, actually.
No.
But the thing is, Claude has the best mobility, and Chiku has so much games on that Claude, right? So I kind of feel like if the Claude has been banned, although if the Claude has been banned out, maybe the Ling will be let through.
There you go. That's what I was actually going to bring up right before you mentioned, because Lance, Ling, and also the Kaja. It's okay, LaFell. It's okay, LaFell. Anyways, Kaja, Lance, and Ling. Those were the 3 bans, and yeah, it makes sense. The Kaja really disrupts what BLACKLIST International have going for themselves, especially if they want to go for something like a Diggy, right? Suppression and single target lockdown. I think Zayn was able to do this as well at M3, using a certain hero that single targets, a hero that a lot of Indonesians just completely dislike. You can be the biggest douche in the world as long as you don't pick this hero and it's Saber Rogue. Or Saber, just Saber in general.
You know what? You could be, you could
be the biggest douche in the world.
As long as you don't use Saber Rogue.
You're a better human being.
I mean, you know what? If I'm TODAK, I kind of don't care.
Yeah.
Winning's winning, so it is what it is. Saber gold lane, maybe, who knows?
Yeah, we have people who commit war crimes and underneath them is just Saber players.
So sorry for all you Saber players out there. You're having a bad reputation right now, but you know what?
You deserve it.
All right, okay.
This is so gonna get clipped, by the way.
It probably is. It probably is. Now, TODAK gonna be making it back up onto the stage. BLACKLIST International taking a little bit more time to really start thinking about the draft because again, it's that give and take. What are they going to let go at the end of the day? In match number 1, we saw that a Ling as well as the Lancelot get banned out towards that second phase. Game number 2, right at the very first phase, we have sniffed it out. We figured out what you want to do, and now game number 3, where do we go?
Legit,
I don't know.
I almost don't care.
Yeah, I almost don't care. I just want to see a good match.
Exactly. Like, Muantana, I'm sorry, but we're not going to analyze the game. We're just going to let it happen.
We're going to enjoy the moment, man.
We're going to do the fan speak. We want game.
Exactly.
Game now.
We will be just viewers. We'll be the netizens, man.
I like how, like, MSC 2023, we just haven't been seeing any backdoors, and today we see 2. On Claude. Donut and now Chiku.
Dude. It's right. Slebel.
All right, BLACKLIST
Mirko is so cringing right now. It's like, I don't know.
That was like an Indonesian meme like a year ago. I don't know why it's now getting
No, because Malaysia, we picked it up. Because we noticed you guys have stopped. We got to continue it.
Yeah.
It's like the bot, sorry.
It's basically like once the Saber Room dies down, we'll resurrect it.
Please don't.
It's one of those memes where it's like, when are you going to let it die? When are they going to finally put it in the ground?
The Valley, dude.
No, it's outplayed.
It's outplayed, bro.
No, not a good time. Not a good time.
In the meantime, here with 1 minute and 30 seconds left before we start getting into towards the draft, at the very least, hopefully, I mean, I said at the very beginning, we're going to see a different side. I didn't expect them to double down. I thought we were going to see a new version, not just the same version with pumped up full of steroids.
Again, really, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see the draft. I honestly don't have anything to say. I'm just back. I'm hyped again to see game number 3.
I actually imagine what if legit Claude gets banned, and this time Chiku does use an assassin or a fighter, but just someone that can legit pull push the turrets, right?
Like Hayabusa
my
gold lane?
God.
Yeah.
We saw that at M4.
Didn't happen too well, but
Didn't work out.
that was M4. This is MSC.
It's been 6 months since then.
Hayabusa has not been changed. But you know, it's like-
Close enough.
Close enough, yeah, close
It's
enough.
changes in Chiku's books.
Well, not entirely wrong here. Not entirely wrong. Maybe because of the adjustments to the gold lane. At the very least, marksmen aren't scaling as quickly to start picking up on those steel plates soon.
Well, at least there's one thing I know. I know that BLACKLIST International aren't really going to change much because, again, they were winning the game. They don't really have to change much. They don't have to adapt much. They just have to be. They just have to really care about.
We
that
gotta talk
one
about
thing.
this.
Okay, finally decoded.
Oh, that title. Oh, you guys in production really got us good here. Finally decoded. This is the first official game win of TODAK against BLACKLIST International in the international scene. Currently with a score of 1 win and 5 losses against BLACKLIST.
Here's the thing: we only won once. But oh, what a victory!
We're gonna hold it over. We're gonna hold it in Malaysia for the longest time for like no reason.
We won, but it still feels like we lost.
13-3. Everybody's going to bring up the scoreline and you're going to say who won.
13-3 every single time. But this is it. Only one of these teams are going to be labeled as the first seed, and the other will be pushed to the second as we comment down to our very final game of today. Let's jump into the draft.
I already see a Ling band there, so let's check out the bands. BLACKLIST International, they are first pick. They're not changing the bands, man. They're not changing the bands.
They don't need to. Again, they don't really need to adapt even. Even when the Claude is up for grabs, they smash the Claude. It's just they gotta pay attention to that bottom side a bit more.
No Varia band here?
Ooh, I mean, if they don't ban the Varia, it is gonna be very sketchy. But I think with the Diggy out, they can actually just let the Varia go. That was the plan initially for TODAK.
Generally, definitely possible, but keep in mind, TODAK is going to be back onto this towards that second pick with BLACKLIST International on that first pick. So generally, that should be the case here. There we go. Novaria is going to get taken out. Now forced to play standard, but that means that Valentina is open.
Do they want to take it first pick though? Right? I mean, here's the thing. Valentina is strong. Eve is strong. I kind of feel like for BLACKLIST International, they're definitely looking at both heroes. Never mind, Psycho Fredrin is here.
Yeah, with the Fredrin so good.
Shoutouts to RSG as well, because I was hanging out with them and they gave me that term. But I kind of feel like now it's sticking. Now I think we're just going to call it the Psycho Fredrin.
Oh, for sure. 100%. When you think Fredrin is gone, Psycho Fredrin is just looking back at you like, say what now? Say that again, one more time? I got my retry up, by the way.
Oh, man. TODAK. Do they want to go for what they went for in game number 1? Just instantly with a Kai Arlet here?
I kind of feel like Claude would be okay. Just take it now before it gets picked up, right?
They have last pick in the first phase, so I think they want to utilize that to actually,
Claude?
Maybe pick Claude, right? Again, BLACKLIST International can simply just pick up that Claude away, but TODAK, I don't think they want to. Do they want to be that one-dimensional? Just go for the Claude? No. Martis and Valentina.
Very interesting, yeah.
This is a rather interesting pick here because we do have a current 50% win rate on this Martis, but it's also a considerable flex pick for both Momo as well as Rival. It can go into the EXP and as well as that jungle position, and I think for Momo, he's definitely comfortable with it. We've seen Fredrin openers happen before in MPL MY. They played against it many, many times, and even during the SEA games as well, we did see a couple of people make that same attempt to snowball Martis from the EXP lane.
I'm going to do you one better. Maybe Chiku guys.
Don't look at me like that.
I mean, like, are you really gonna tell me there's no world that Chiku guys doesn't use the Marcus Gold League?
Oh, man. He probably does somewhere in his ranked games, but maybe for now it might be a bit too crazy. We'll have to see what BLACKLIST International go for first. And they go for the Minotaur and the Yi. So with a few heroes banned away, with the SS and Diggy banned away, it's, I guess, Venus's third most comfortable pick. It is going to be the Minotaur, which is, again, very uncharacteristic because we've never really seen Venus on a full initiation hero. Thing is, BLACKLIST don't have dive. And right now, TODAK. Oh my god.
Chikulaga, and they're picking it up again. All right, Chikulaga. Chiku guys has dealt 100% of TODAK's turret damage with a total of 20,000 1,068 damage to turrets last game.
100%.
Oh
You know
my
what?
goodness.
This is a different kind of funneling.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I've never seen a turret funnel before, but I guess we've seen it now.
I think Chiku told the team, you guys just clear the minions.
Yeah.
Don't even touch
Distract!
the turrets.
Distract them!
Destroy your own body for me.
This is some sadistic. This is some
sounds like
sadistic
a
masochistic.
He sounds like a dictator.
Masochistic.
I
Oh,
mean, anything for the win, right?
Anything for the win.
anything at all costs. All right, let's see what the second phase is going to be here. Because again,
Fun is
the
all
fact is that
nice.
TODAK is going in blind with this Hilda, right? They have
Quad
something
then, right?
in mind. Oh, wait, now that I think about it, at the very least, I know that Hilda is able to cancel out a decent amount of abilities, and I think it might be applicable to Minotaur in this case.
I haven't seen a lot of that interaction, so that is very interesting to see here in game. Right now, as we're talking about the quad ban, even the production's like, okay, let's
Even
reset.
they can't handle the
Yeah, even
drafts.
they is like, come on, it has to be a quad, right? If it's not, then disrespect.
I don't know. I feel like, again, TODAK might just be trying to force
I've
that
been
Beatrix
waiting
out.
to
And yeah, it's
see
not going to be... I don't think Claude sounds like that. So BLACKLIST International did not go for the Claude ban here.
That sounds like a
Scary.
Yeah.
it sounds like a carry. Yeah.
All right, so get rid of the carry. I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, carry is the obvious counter pick to basically all tanks in this game, and you've got two of the beefiest ones right in the first two picks for BLACKLIST International. We come back over to
Time
TODAK
and
side,
tide wait
and
for no man.
it's going to be the
Is
Beatrix
no
ban this time.
Wait.
We are seeing some form of adjustments in the second phase.
Do they want to pull off the Natan again? There's no dive technically from BLACKLIST International right now. And for TODAK, look, they have two physical damage dealers. They're setting up for something magic, I believe.
Lunox?
Ooh, Lunox jungle. That is very interesting, man.
Lunox jungle.
I
I
mean-
like how you say Lunox jungle instantly when it comes to TODAK.
It's, you know,
They made it a signature for a reason.
it's very interesting. Chiku guys was the one that used the Lunos jungle, but it's kind of like one of the process of interviews. Like, yo, you want to enter TODAK rival? Can you use the Lunos jungle? And he's like, I can try. Chiku made sure that he could use it.
Got the job.
Got the job for sure.
Lapu, no
Lapu.
Claude ban, so the Claude might just come through here. But if they do go for the Claude, TODAK are going to be severely dependent on physical damage right now.
Yeah, I agree with you here. I think even for BLACKLIST International, they actually respect the fact that anti-CC is going to be a little bit of an issue, so getting rid of the Lapu is always going to be great. We know that Valentina is susceptible to CC, but if you're still the real-world manipulation, that opens up a couple of options. But let's not forget, the Minoan Fury can also be stolen at the same time.
They want to go for Joy right now, is my question, right? Good dive up against BLACKLIST International, good mobility to try to face off against the Minotaur as well, and has a bit of anti-CC within her kit.
And deny.
And deny, and magic damage.
I don't know. I feel like even Arlet might actually be a little bit more suitable in these particular cases. At least with the Final Slash, you can start denying abilities.
Nope.
Harriet.
Yo!
You say
There we
Joy? What
go.
did you say, Joy?
You know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm just trash.
Let's just throw all of
We're
the
bad at the game.
I'm
all the data
terrible.
we have here. Yeah, let's just throw it out. I mean,
We
why
need
do we
it.
even have a data
Right.
for TODAK?
You know what? Production has been keeping us up to date with all the stats, but even then, it's still tough to predict what's going to be happening in this matchup. BLACKLIST International start things off in the second phase with the Arlet for themselves, and I think that's great, especially when you're up against a Harith. It's always good to be able to kind of lock him down just for a couple of seconds.
Here's the thing. It kind of shows to me that this time TODAK, they want to fight. Looking at the draft right now, they're like, yeah, just now we gave you guys a lot of room. This time, not gonna happen.
Oh, and even BLACKLIST want to fight too, locking in the Brody into this matchup. I'm liking it. This is going to be a high body count game.
No, TODAK can just go for something like a Terizla now in the XP lane, put the Martis in the jungle, and the Terizla is going to have a lot to say. Anti-CC, once again, in the penalty zone, is a very good counter onto the Brody early to mid when he doesn't have enough attack speed to get those basic attacks off because it cancels it all the time.
Yep. Or the Lunox jungle.
I like how we default to Lunox jungle
Because we're talking about, if we're talking about anti-CC, we have to talk about iframes, right? They basically come hand in hand to each other, and there's not a lot of heroes that do that. Oh, Yu Zong! Okay, you know what? I
You
guess
guys are bad about the game.
We're terrible.
We're terrible.
None of our predictions correct here. None of our calls.
To be
Wolf would have
fair, can people really blame us?
I
Is
mean,
it really our fault?
It's
I
TODAK's
mean,
fault, I think, more than us, right?
I don't know. LaFell was able to call it in game number 2 how this game would eventually end, so...
But he's Malaysian.
No, I'm calling for this game.
What
It's
is
gonna
that
be a
supposed
brawl.
to mean, man?
I'm calling this game a brawl, man.
Calling it a brawl?
Once Chiku has 2 items on the Harif, it's all looking for blood.
All right, Clippers, hold him accountable for it. Let's find out. Is he going to be 2 for 2 here? He's 1-0 currently, and I'm expecting everybody to show up in the mid lane and start battling it out.
The crowd's ready. You can see them, man. They are ready for this third game of the series. We expected anticlimactic after game number 1, after the stomp of game number 2. But TODAK somehow, someway, were able to shift the tides. And now we're here, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 for the first seed in Group D.
This is going to be the last match here of the group stage before we move into the knockouts. Blacklist on the blue side with TODAK on the red side.
Don't go in, Yums. Just relax. Like it's the Yums. Yums.
He's giving tips. Oh, forcing a red tree early on. Yums dealing pretty good damage, but this is the problem, I believe. Up against a Fredrin. Oh, nope. Yums this time he's actually baited out the red tree, so he can continue to do what he wanted to do in game number 1.
Right now, honestly, I kind of feel like all he's trying to achieve is slow everyone down. But while we're having this time, we're seeing Yums take a beating, being a bit masochistic here. I'm actually looking at Moon for him to kind of like set the tempo for the team, because there's a lot of great ults that he can take, and if he takes a good one and actually has a good start to the fight, then it's going to be very good for TODAK.
I totally agree with you here, but also notice that Yums decided to go for Concussive Blast as well as taking the Flicker rather than going for the Sprint. So it's not like he can get out of these really, really tight situations and buy like a whole bunch of time. He's just waiting for these critical moments.
3-man though, up top already. Chiku is going to be pressured here, forced to recall pretty early on, and he will just respect that. He knows that he can't go for that gold minion anyways, unless he wants to get threatened here. But for the in-game emblems, anything in particular to note out?
No, because I don't think that's the mage emblem for Chiku guys, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
So, it's alright. Sorry, it's okay.
It's alright for now. It's alright for now. But look at the bottom side, right? Just a lot of pressure towards Edward.
Edward so far still doing quite okay. So for both teams, it looks like they're showing their face and then they're like, can we do this? No, we cannot. So at least for both teams, they're being respectful. Not a lot of crazy kills in the early stages of the fight. For now, Chiku guys as well as Owl look like they're doing quite even, though I would say Chiku guys is trading a little bit more HP. Now Black Dragon form from Momo looking for Wise.
He found Wise in the bush right now. He does have the Petrify. Wise can be able to dash away. Minion Fury blocking 2 members up. Now another knockup, but Momo finds the Petrify now onto Wise. The turtle's still up. Real world manipulation dealing a whole lot of damage, but the sustain is actually there. And first blood goes to Rival. He's looking for more. Decimation is on, but Wise is able to sustain back up with the Appraiser's Wrath. Young with the flicker out with a racing attack. Fade away from Yue. Finds the double. TODAK once again will lose in the early game with Wise having more pressure on the turtle, but they know this information. No retribution on Wise. Can Moon look for the steal? He cannot. Wise gets it. Venus looking for the knockup. Moon knocked up, forced to flicker out.
Honestly, super close coming in from Yums. He could have survived if he was able just to get his foot, just one more pixel to touch that brush, and Barak is passive once again. I mean, the idea was definitely there, right? Momo wanted to jump its back, hopefully trying to slow down Yue and maybe put them low enough for Rival to kind of finish them off one by one.
Another thing is, he almost hit level 4. If he hit that level 4, he would have survived. And now, oh my Venus sees Yums as well as Moon. So far, this Minotaur is getting punished quite a lot, but so far it is going to be quite okay.
Even the power of Wildest committed, but look at this. Wise, Psycho, Fredrin locking him down. Minu and Fury to take him out. Real world manipulation as well. Put all the ults and the kitchen sink down below. Solo kill from Owl. Torn apart memory.
Oh, that's not what you want to see. That's not what you want to see. Blunder after blunder coming out for the side of TODAK, but this could be a repeat of game number 2. Who knows? Tough to say, but you're going to have to keep your hopes up. So far, so good for Blacklist International, right? You can definitely tell by their movements. They're not looking for these big invades. They're just making sure that the river line is going to be safe. Oh, what's going on in the mid lane?
Moon is going on in the mid lane. He's getting completely ganked and shut down this game. 0, 2, and 1. Rival forced to just soak in all the mid waves in the mid lane, and TODAK are just falling behind. Chiku guys now with Zaman Force. It might be another solo kill as the Torn Apart memory comes through. Oh my god! So much damage. Wise. He's looking for the Appraiser's Wrath stacks. Rival and Yums are there to back him up. Will give him enough space to clear out the mini waves, but so far, Blacklist 3,000 gold lead already.
Okay, guys, you know, I said it's going to be a bloodbath. I say it's going to be a brawl. Not like this. You know, I thought it'd be a little bit more even for now. 6 kills to 1. TODAK has not been doing quite good in this trade. And Yums, he's really just tanking everyone. He's trying to delay. I don't know what's going on here.
I think he's trying to bait the abilities, and he did do that! Momo finds a Petrify, the Furious die, but Venus is still able to escape from decimation. Now Moon stealing away the Mutant Fury. Momo with a Black Dragon form will fall! Yue picks up a double. The Appraiser's Wrath comes through. Blacklist have withstood the chaos, and they're able to punish.
Beautifully played by Blacklist. They're making sure that their low members flicker out right at the very end while the rest of the members try and body block Rival from getting even remotely close. Keep in mind, the decimation has a limited range. It's not very, very long. And more importantly, there is a slight channel time. So if timed right, he can technically, it's a bit of a gamble, right? Rival could technically follow them along that flicker, but if done early, you won't have the space and time.
TODAK's got to slow down a bit, get some farm, get equal levels, because even looking at levels here, you guys about to hit level 7, but Owl is already level 7. Yums keeps on going on, and look, he's taking way too much damage, man.
Forced to commit the flicker here early. Again, 5th minute in the game. But it does give some more space for Chiku, guys. He didn't know a lot of members were down there. Now they can actually slow the tempo down. But with a 5,000 gold lead, with a turret already taken on this Brody, remember, this is Owl on the Brody. He understands completely how to snowball in this game by getting these turrets, and Blacklist seem to understand that as well. They're already rotating him down below. If this turret falls, that's so much map pressure that Blacklist can use to actually even invade in the enemy jungle.
Look, right now I'm looking level difference so much. Even Venus and Yums, there's a level difference here. So TODAK again, they're going for my Venus. I don't think that's a very great idea, especially Chiku, guys, is actually being denied a lot of the minions, and now Moon has to flicker away, but Edward is there.
Final slash. Moon again. 0, 3, and 1 now counting. Blacklist International have completely read out what TODAK wants to go for. Even Momo here in the mid lane forced to again soak in those minions, and yes, Blacklist are playing the siege perfectly with the Brody, playing towards the Brody, giving him space, and now with this big snowball, I can only imagine what one torn apart memory can do to the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's going to absolutely shred here, but Blacklist International at least have identified the movements coming in from TODAK, because again, even if Chiku guys were to suppose go to that top side, they know for a fact that Momo is covering, and especially these big choke points, to feed that information. It is a good way to kind of cover for Chiku, but it's not the greatest for anybody walking back into the mid lane. That's why Momo was such a prime target.
It's funnel. They're doing a funnel right now. Chiku is going to be on the purple buff. Given it very early in the 7th minute of the game, despite Rival already being behind you, still trying to go for that. Now, what does this mean?
This means, again, you gotta slow things down, because you're really looking for Chiku guys to carry the game, but the thing is, it's kind of not great just because Athena Shield as well as Radiant Armor are a thing. I don't know, in this kind of situation, TODAK might still be able to win the fights, but they really gotta make sure that they put into consideration the level difference. Edward's level 10, Momo is level 9. Unless they catch Blacklist slipping, it's going to be very difficult.
They're splitting Blacklist off. Edward, good read on Rival, just bringing him back right now as the turtle will actually be ignored. They want to go for the first Lord right now, understanding that Chiku has been doing the same thing. He's just been constantly splitting, so they don't actually want to go for the turtle. They're just going to go for the Lord that has just spawned.
And more importantly, as time goes on, rather than looking for these neutral objectives, actually, Blacklist looking for these kills might be very, very worthwhile, right? Because at the end of the day, as much as Chiku wants to go and split push into the side, if he doesn't reveal himself, and more so if the housekeeping has been done right, taking out 3, arguably the most ideal situation for members from the side of TODAK, making it obsolete for you to try to go for these back doors.
Right now, looking at the situation, I don't always see Harif split pushing, so we'll have to see if Chiku is able to use that well. The Lord is Blacklist. They're thinking about it, but at this point of time, it kind of feels like maybe not too worth it. But no, they are starting the Lord right now, and look at TODAK's positioning. It doesn't look like it is going to be a good position for them to actually fight this.
I don't even think they should contest at this point, right? I mean, 6,000 gold lead. Game number 2, they tried to contest with a 6,000 gold lead, and they ended up just having to back away, and that's exactly what they do right now. They try to go for a turret down below, splitting up the map just like Fel said in game number 2, but now the old world manipulation, that immobility field as well. Momo forced to use the Black Dragon form as they go for the defense here in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Chiku in the bottom lane right there might be forced into a 1v1. Torn apart memory though from Owl. beautifully placed, the fadeaway, and yes, two guys takes the fight, has the Purify now with the Zaman Force as well, but cannot win in the 1v1 against Edward.
Oh!
Chico, the shielding! Oh, so close, but Agent Zero takes the dub.
Oh my goodness, that was way too close for comfort. One single dodge made such a difference to not get the reset on the demon marks now. But the defense, it's going to be rather weak without Chiku. And more importantly, when it comes down to wave clear overall, even Moon is significantly behind. He's not strong enough to one-shot these waves by himself.
I gotta say that's a level difference. Because again, one level difference. If they were equal levels, Chico might have won that.
I think it's also just the Purify. I really wonder why Chico didn't utilize the Purify there in the skirmish to try to, cancel out some of these stuns coming in.
I think it was already too late, right? He was already hit by the big ticket items. He was hit by the final slash. Wait, hold on.
Rival brought back by the team by the final slash right there, but the real world manipulation does give TODAK a lot more to say when it comes to these defenses high ground. So they're going to be able to defend for now. Only the two base turrets or two tier 2 turrets on the side getting picked off.
Okay. Things have been going on pretty okay for now for BLACKLIST International. 9.2. They need to make sure that there's no holes in their attack. No opportunities for TODAK to come back.
Final slash again, bringing Rival back. That's a lot of resources committed with the Minion Fury as well. With the Flicker inside, Chiku is holding on to that Purify, and look at Wise! With the Abraser's Wrath is able to find a kill back, bursting Chiku guys. Edward, final slash! Again, Moon brought back to the team. One more hit, UN finds it! Owl takes down the top side. 4 members down, make it 5! It's a wipeout from BLACKLIST International, and they do it quicker, faster, more efficiently this time. 11 minutes and 12 seconds.
11 minutes and 12 seconds is all they need. Congratulations to the agents. BLACKLIST International will be first seed coming out of their group, and unfortunately for TODAK fans, they won't get knocked out, but taking the second seed means they're less likely to try and achieve top 4.
Here's the thing, now I kind of feel like TODAK, this could be a wake-up call. Now they understand the strength of the competition. We're gonna have like, what, 2 days between now and the knockout stage? I kind of feel like those 2 days has to be utilized well by TODAK because, again, the third draft, it was quite, I would say all 3 drafts were a big risk.
48 hours to utilize for all teams to figure out how they're going to start playing against their opponents, and not only that, fix their own gameplay. Let's keep in mind that the draws will be happening later on, but we're going to be throwing it over to our host up on stage. Mickey, please take it away.
BLACKLIST. Okay, can you please come here? Here. Come here. Over here. Okay. Some lane ho I BLACKLISTមួយមក Okay, so we might have an interview. So the first question is to Wise, okay? So what do you think went right for your team in the series? Is it the draft or gameplay?
I think it's the both.
Both អញ្ចឹងគាត់គិតថាប្រហែលជាទាំងពីរទាំង draft ផងទាំង gameplay ផង Okay, so the next question is still you. In the knockout, you might be paired with FIMP, Evo's Legend, or Burn Egg Flush. Which do you want to face more and why?
Yun lang, tulad nung sinabi ko dati, wala naman akong gustong kalaban. Pero as long as malabas namin yung ginagawa namin and tama yung ginagawa namin kahit sino, okay lang.
Wise says that it doesn't matter. He'd like to face any of them. What's important is they play the game that they practice and they just want to enjoy the rest of the tournament.
អញ្ចឹងគាត់បាននិយាយថាប៉ះជាមួយនឹងទីមួយណាក៏បានដែរប៉ុន្តែអីដែលសំខាន់គាត់នឹង try to practice more train more ដើម្បីការប្រកួត MLAS ដូចគ្នាអញ្ចឹង So the next question is to Edward. Yes. Okay. So you mentioned in the media the day interview that TODAK plays a lot of unpredictable hero. How did Blacks decode them?
Yun nga, in-expect na namin na may ilalabas silang bagong hero, and ayun, nag-prepare kami nag-prepare kami ng para yan.
They prepared for the exotic picks. They expected it and they prepared for it.
គាត់ expect ហើយគាត់ក៏បានរៀបចំទុកជាមុនហើយដូចគ្នា So the next question is to your idol. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the question is, how do you like Phnom Penh, Cambodia so far?
I actually like it a lot. The people here are very supportive.
Oh yeah.
And I can feel it right now. Yes, so thank you so much to our Cambodian supporters.
Okay អរគុណអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាដែលតែងតែ support ជាមួយនឹងពួកគាត់ហើយគាត់ក៏បានឃើញឥឡូវនឹងដូចគ្នាដែលមានការ support Blacklist ចា Okay, last question is to your idol also. Oh my goodness. Final word to your fan here in the hall and across the world.
Of course, first of all, thank you so much to people who are supporting Blacklist International, especially here na sobrang nag-effort pa na lumipa dito to Cambodia to support us. And to all our Cambodian fans here who are watching in the venue, thank you so much. And to all our supporters who are watching online, yan, thank you.
Okay អរគុណអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាដែលតែង support គាត់រហូតដល់ឥឡូវហ្នឹងគឺយប់ខ្លាំងមែនតើអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាក៏នៅតែ support គាត់ដូចគ្នាសង្ឃឹមថាអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នានៅតែបន្តការ support គាត់ Yes ជាមួយនឹង Blacklist សូមសម្លេងហោឲ្យគាត់មួយមក Okay, so now the interview is done, so let's pass the floor to the caster. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Radamiki, once again up on that stage. He is crushing it on these interviews, and especially with Blacklist International. Great words coming in for the Queen as well as the King themselves. An interesting way to play the game coming in from TODAK, but as was expected for a lot of the agents out there, a 2-1 at the end of the day.
It's great to see again the Cambodian crowd just giving so much support to both of the teams, and especially Blacklist. Hey,
baby's
no,
not
why are
having
you
a good
crying?
time. They're like, no.
Blacklist won. It's fine. It's fine.
The timing.
Maybe the baby wanted TODAK to win.
Oh.
What a weird baby.
No.
Shout out to the baby again.
Shout out to the baby.
Love,
Shout out to the
respect.
baby.
We're just having fun, you know.
We're just having fun. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, the next generation is going to be looking back at this and being like 13-3, by the way. 13-3 out of nowhere.
Weird flex, but yeah.
We're flex, but okay.
We're flex, but okay. But let's look at our MVP of this match up on your screen. It's Oh My Venus on a Minotaur. 2-0-11, coming away with a perfect game.
The Queen. I mean, what's there to say, right? Usually, the main criticism to Venus is hero pool. Estes, supportive healers, Mathilda coming in. Now, she's even coming in with a Minotaur.
I mean, again, Minotaur has a heal, so, you know.
You're right.
Right,
So
yes,
technically,
still
support/tank. That's what he's listed as, right?
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people have been like very hypercritical on Oh My Venus. Like, man, the Queen can't find these engagers. No.
Here's the thing. I kind of feel like if the Grok can heal someone, Venus might use it. I'm just putting it out there, okay?
Hey, honestly, with the new emblem system coming out, who knows? Anything could be technically a healer to a certain degree, but let's look at the heat map and the coverage that we are seeing from the Queen in her kingdom.
Honestly, full on in the Riverside, making it so that puts a clear line that's like, okay, this is the line and you do not cross it. If you do cross it, you are gonna die. And we saw TODAK died quite a bit.
Yeah, and especially the punishment on towards Hume's side, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that he was playing. Well, there are a lot of questions as to the pick in general, but these early interactions from TODAK, they have not won a single early turtle fight.
Actually, I have a very interesting thought after seeing this game.
What is that?
The Minotaur wants to engage, and usually the way you engage is with the flickering. But TODAK was the one that engaged, so they did the Minotaur's job. The Minotaur just had to wait. All right, you're all clumping up. I'm going to use my Minnow and Fury and use my Flicker to survive.
I think they tried a lot of times as well. I mean, in the second turtle, it's the most visible. Earlier, we saw the Hilda tried to actually bait it out. The initial engage just to bait it out. But the thing is, I don't think Hilda can actually do that here. The fact that, you know, you're up against a utility jungler from the start, usually you have an assassin in the enemy jungle, that's why you pick up the Hilda, and then you get a significant lead to do that against the Minotaur.
I guess, I suppose, but at the end of the day, you're both correct, right? The Minotaur didn't necessarily have to use the flicker all the time. If you get aggressive and go back into playing that traditional front to front, it's even better because then Oh My Venus doesn't have to waste the battle spell, right? Saves time or can force tempo upon your opponents. Walking away from this match at, wow, not 11-12, but 11 minutes, 11 seconds, 17-2 against TODAK.
One more kill TODAK got, maybe they could have won. They need at least 3 kills. But again, like I said, in terms of the itemization and everything, I legit feel like Oh My Venus is not known to be the engager type, so the fact that TODAK engaged first is kind of like doing Oh My Venus's job. Like me as a Minotaur, or let's just say I'm an Akai, I want people to be
engage.
between me and a wall. So if they're positioning themselves between me and a wall, I just have to press my ult. I don't have to use my first skill. I don't have to use retribution or anything. I'll be like, you're kind of doing half of my job for me, so that's great. Keep doing that.
So TODAK, we're setting up for Venus.
Exactly.
Did they want to look tantalized and bait it out maybe for a re-engage?
Yeah, I kind of feel like that, yeah.
At the end of the day, levels is power, naturally, right? And it's not just about the items, it's just making sure that you are going toe-to-toe evenly. Like what you mentioned before, when Chuka Guys was going up against Edward in that 1v1, that one level difference could have been what made the difference.
We can bring that up, but honestly, I need to bring up the fact that, you know, just individually, I feel like TODAK are not performing to the level that BLACKLIST International are, because Chiku Guys in lane, again, with a Herod up against a Brody, a Purify built in, an all-in hero up against the Brody was losing 1v1, right? And even the Yuzhong, a lot of people consider the Yuzhong to be a good matchup against the Arlet. Momo losing in lane. I think just these individual matchups are not going well at all for TODAK, and it ultimately made them so far behind to a point where, again, 1 level lead. The fact that Edward had a 1 level lead shows you how much better he was in lane.
Yeah, but I think that was clear already in game number 1, that they are just not playing up to the standard of BLACKLIST International. And I think even for Edward, I think the most challenging was game number 1 when he was fighting Joy into the Arlet. And even then, it was like, okay, that was the most 50-50 we've seen thus far. And then the rest of the match was just continuously smashing up his lane. Even for Owl himself, like Chico had a lot of tight moments and ended up getting punished for his own blunders.
Actually, yeah, again, they gotta brush something up. Is it mental? Like, are they tired or something? It's definitely something that they have to pay attention to, because again, in this MSE, you don't have a lot of opportunities to move forward. If you lose, that's the end.
Single elimination knockout stage, remember. And now that they are in Pool 2, they will be faced off against the top teams from one of these groups, or Group A, B, or C, right? Because you can't meet Group D anymore.
That is true. That is true. No double eliminations. It's all or nothing. But guys, what do you think of the cast's predictions so far? The Mirror Curse, the LaFell Curse, Wolf being in layover from Malaysia to Cambodia, all of this coming into play? Or do you have your own viewpoints that you'd like to share with us? If so, don't hesitate to make your own guesses in our MSC Guest event. You can find the event in the esports channel in-game, and you can cheer for your team, and you may get rewards with 1,000 MSC coins.
Just 1,000?
Just 1,000, because you can use those coins, and you have to redeem the 2023